Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheen Osman. Let me turn my mic down just a little bit. Got a little feedback coming back from it. Okay, there we go. Now that's much better. But I do have some people in here that is very important and I'm gonna say hello and good morning to them. I'm gonna go to my baby girl first. Mary, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm high and a happy elephant a lady and porcupine proud to be here this morning. Yes, I is. And let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Bonjour, monsieur. Comment allez-vous?
Volazon. Volazon. How about that? You ain't know I knew that, did you? Well,
Yeah,
listen.
yeah. Good morning. Good morning. How do you do?
Hey, I do very well, sir. I do very well. Yes, indeed. Yes, look, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I'm gonna ask a question this morning, and I really want to hear y'all heart on this thing, man. We go through this thing called life. We go through this thing called life, and we want certain things. Everybody wants certain things, and we obtain certain things that we want, be it big things, small things, material things, or whatever it is. That's what we do. But Ibrahim, let me ask you this: what are we collecting these things for? Because like the old captain says, and I know y'all have heard it said many times before. I've never seen a U-Haul following a hearse. I've never seen that. I've never seen nobody on their way to go to the final resting place here on this thing called Earth, and they had a U-Haul following behind the hearse and bringing their material things. So I'm asking this question, Ibrahim, search your heart of hearts, and not you specifically, but as a whole. What are we collecting things for? Why do we search so hard to collect all these quote unquote things?
I think it's just our training.
Mm-hmm.
How we've been trained, how we see world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we find value in things. We're recognized as a person of value, not so much of what we are, what we do, but the things that we possess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see Trump is just because he's a fake billionaire. I mean, a billionaire, and because of the things that he has control over or actually own.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't, that doesn't pull well the person's character
Yeah,
because he's a billionaire.
exactly.
And we worship these people, and we do it. We do it. That's part of gross national product.
Mm-hmm.
Just what you buy, what
Yeah.
you spend. If you're not spending anything, this gross national product will show a deficit. Will show like it's going negative.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it increases inflation and it does it causes a whole lot of things. And also, as far as the world concerned, we got people in the Congo working for $1 a day to build to get carbon for these phones,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
other type of materials. Afghanistan, we got people in Afghanistan under the Chinese are pulling out, tons of stuff that we need for these components, these new components and things like this, right? We got it's just that money is made on wars
Mm-hmm.
because of things that are created in wars. Some things are good, some things are urgently bad, and we always need more and more and more. And then we got to prove out why we need it and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But our wants now, it's a weird country because a lot of us we're so bougie or so contaminated with having things that we will actually go out and fight and spend our last dime for what we want, and we'll beg for what we need and
Yes,
think that
sir.
we should be supplied our basic needs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a recipe for disaster.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way. When you say poverty and inflation, right, and put them together, and it's simply because a lot of people want more. Like look at the housing prices. Who needs? And you ought to see some of these homes. Who needs these homes?
Yeah.
Who need to live downtown Atlanta? In a 800 or less square feet studio apartment that's valued at $1 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, what
Yeah.
purpose? You know,
Exactly.
and all this being raised up around Atlanta, you see condos popping up everywhere, places that used to be warehouses or derelict land, and the farming land is dwindling. And I always ask my question when I see it, where are people going to eat? Where are they going to work? You know, what the energy sources they're going to, the water. You know, we have Atlanta, we have problems with water and everything, and a lot of other cities. Well, where all these, what is the value? Where all this money coming from? You know, that and the tax rate is going to be raised up, and everybody's have a complaint. When this thing going to pop again like it did in 2006 and 2013? I was a proud, happy investor in that, and I was a sad homeowner.
Yeah, exactly. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Let me go to Mary as well, because I know you got a lot to say on this thing. You stay right there, brother. Don't you go nowhere. Mary, I want to ask you the same. Why are we collecting so many things? Why do we want to collect things? Why, because we collect all these things. And truth of the matter, we collect all these things, and then when the person meet their final destination, they get their last breath, and they go home to glory, they're leaving people behind. And 9 times out of 10, people are fighting. The family members and friends, and everybody is fighting for everything that this person obtained in this thing called life. Now there's a war going on. You don't supposed to get this. I'm supposed to get that. And now people are fighting, and people don't even want to talk to each other no more because they say this person done got over. It's so much confusion. Why do we collect? Why is it so important that we collect so many things?
I think some people are just material people, and then other people are. I think you do need some things. But as far as when you say collecting, do you mean expensive things or
just things? People, and it is a lot of times they are expensive things, yes. But they just want things. They just want to collect all these things, these material things. They just want to have them, and they can't. When you get your last breath, when it's time to lay down, you can't take any of this stuff with you, and it's going to cause havoc and chaos amongst the people that's still here. But why do you think people collect so much, or feel as though they have to?
I'm not sure, because I'm not one of those people, so I don't know why it's such a necessity. I think some things that you do need to, like, some people collect cars, some people collect houses, some people collect bags, some people, it just depends. Some people collect people, so like
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
And see, but I'm sure you do know that there are people that's out there that's really, their whole thing is just to collect. They want as much as they want as much as they can get, and they're gonna go out there and they're gonna work themselves to death half the time, and just trying to obtain these things. Why?
I'm not sure. I think that's a question for someone who likes to collect, but I don't see the point in it. I understand some things you do need, but I don't see the point in it. Like the people who collect other people, I don't understand why you want more than one partner, because I probably do it myself, much less somebody else, and then adding more people, I think would just make it irritating. But
more complicated, yeah. That's good.
I'm not sure.
Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm out here enjoying another beautiful new day. Just happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Good to have you too, brother. Good to have you. Asking the question, Rico, why is people so what's the word I'm looking for? So caught up. I just say caught up, lack of a better term, in collecting so much material stuff, houses, cars, and all these material things, watches and golds and all this material things, man. And like the old saying goes, I've never seen a U-Haul following a hearse. So when it comes time for their final day here on earth, they have to leave all this stuff here behind. But people are so driven, so driven in collecting things. Why do you think that is, Rico?
Because that's a symbol of status and value and worth, accomplishment. So, it's easy for you to say, look what I got. Look what I did. Look what I did to get what I got. And then, you get certain things. And to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying, that is the example of extravagance, is being able to try things. And then when you're done with it, okay, Ain't no big deal to me anymore. On to the next. Hey, y'all, look what I'm doing now. Look what I got now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a friend that got a slingshot.
Uh-huh.
And she likes to post every time they do something big at the house. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody in Facebook world is like rooting for them. And then she'll go back. She put a post up one day showing the slingshot that she had just been bragging about a year before, sitting up with a cover, being a shelf.
Wow.
Had a cover on it. They started sitting things on top of it, and then just came on Facebook. Y'all, this is a shame. We buy all this stuff, use it a couple of times, and then use it as storage. And I'm like, man, I don't know if people reading in between the lines or not. But if you pay attention enough, this is a, hey, y'all, look at me and look what we got and look how much we got it going on.
Yep.
So that's a sign of status. Then, you know, if you are in that situation where you want to have, and then you have to dole out, maybe you have to issue out resources, then it becomes a thing about control and having more and greed.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have to pay people, but you don't want to pay them fair wages.
Yep.
You know, but you want to be able to go to the edge of space and fly back and say, oh, y'all, look how much more life, how more valuable our life is, and look how much more we can afford. We could go look down on everybody. And you got to pay $1 million to do it. And depending on who you are, we might let you go for free, depending on your status.
Yep.
Look at me. So, you know, you look at hoarders. Hoarders are the extreme version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I saw a hoarder show, it was a hoarder show on one time. I was looking at it, I said, man, that house looked familiar. And it was a house that was around the corner from my aunt down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, man, I said, I remember that house. Quite a few A&E shows I've seen where, you know, that I could see where it was in that neighborhood, you know. Nice area, very nice area. Hoarder. And she had some of the most nice things she had never even opened up in boxes.
Yep.
She just needed more. She got addicted to it. So, you know, you have this thing that we are naturally, scientifically through, you know, this is what capitalism, this is the science behind capitalism. They know human beings want more anyway, information. This is going to be natural for us to like and want to indulge in things that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's eating, having sex, whatever it is, we're going to want more of it. You know what I'm saying? They studied enough rats and monkeys and everything and other people to know that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
So they market more and more things to us to make us feel like, hey, you need this in your life to make you feel good. You need that in your life to make you feel good. And people see it on these home shopping networks and they say, well, you know what? That would make my life easier. So now here it is, that addiction to convenience, wanting life to be easy, smooth, and happy and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to pay for all that. So before you know it, you just consume with buying more and more things and not realizing sometimes you might already have it in your closet.
Exactly.
I see women right now selling clothes that they never worn.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Okay, yeah. You know, Enrico is absolutely right, and your daughter's absolutely right. But it's a thing, you know, and I had to reflect on what Prophet Muhammad said, slave was sallam, and peace and blessings be upon him. That they said that he used to give away things that people would try to refuse it because, you know, he lived in a humble state. And they would try to refuse everything. He said he didn't want to carry nothing to his grave. He didn't want to own nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing of value, nothing but the clothes that he's buried in and the sheep he's wrapped in and the wooden coffin that he's buried in. He didn't want to go with nothing. Because we come here with nothing and we're gonna leave because it's just like the burial itself. That's for the living. The dead doesn't care, you know, what jewelry it has and everything. You know, because they have a bigger thing to deal with at this time, you know, and we can possibly imagine. So, you know, but like you said, like Rico said, the status something. It's your life. It's showing something. I dated a lady who was married and an Irish lady, and her husband was quite well off. He was one of the executives at this bank conglomeration. And he went in and he had a big party, a company party, and he brought out and he showed displayed this ring, and the ring was just like glittering, and it was big, and it had diamonds all over it, and I'm like, oh my God. And I was scared about my little gift, you know. I had a handmade a dual set of candles, you know, from, I was a machinist at the time. I made dual set of brass candles that polished up everything. And she looked at the ring and she wore it and she thanked her husband. And then she turned around and said, look what, you know, I go tell my name at the time. We said, look what he has brought.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he brought. Look what he made for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that let me know right there, you know, and I try to, you know, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I try to remind everybody, and so I do participate with the family. You know, I say, well, you know, something that you make, something that you do from your heart,
Yes,
is more valuable than the greatest bauble.
mm-hmm.
And that was a lesson that I learned in the most precarious of circumstances, because this person was my supporter at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who I needed desperately, and I didn't want to offend anybody because these people were very powerful at the time. But I was taken back and so shocked, and then everybody, and I could see the women approving of this, and the men were just like shook, you know, why this Negro
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in our house, but the women understood that because I had really worked for it, and I had done a pretty good job, and it was just valuable. You couldn't put a price to it, but however, it was a shock to me, and that humbled me.
Mm-hmm.
Because these people of great wealth understood, you know, very stoic and values and everything. They understood a person's effort and a person's intent and a person's heart in something. And that is more valuable. I prefer that, you know. I think a home is where you can come and you're loved.
Yeah.
And you feel it. And, you know, and you nurture from it. You feed from it. You need it. You can't leave without it. You can't come back without it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more valuable to me than all the benefits that you could possibly bestow upon me.
And what you just and one of the things that I heard in what you said just now, which was I think was very absolutely powerful, is I pulled this out of that time, you know, and because you took time, you put time into making that, and a lot of times even with kids as they're growing up, you know, they don't care about all the fancy. They want the little fancy toys and all. They want all that, but I think what they really want is for you to spend some time with them. Just sit down on that floor and play with them. You know, my grandson, you know, he loved to come. He come over here, man, and what he want to do, he want to fight. He said, "People, let's fight, and we'll sit there and we'll play wrestle, man. We'll fall over the floor, you know, I pick him up and I slam him or act like I'm slamming on the ground or something like that, and drop my leg elbow on him, and then he'll kick a little bit, and he'll get up, he'll fight some more. We'll fight, man. He'll say, "People, and he'll tell me, he said, you ain't supposed to hit like that in fighting." And I said, "Well, what is fighting all about, man?" He said, "You don't hit and fight." He said, "Stay right there. Be still. Be still." But see, that's time that we spending together. That's time. And so to me, a lot of times that's more valuable, just like the gift that you gave. You know, he gave spend all this money. Oh, I'm going to press with all this money. No. Take time and make something make something like you did. And she valued that more. Mary, what do you say about that? Sometimes it's not about what you give, long as you're giving your time.
I agree because I'm a time kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
but not everybody is. So I think it depends on the person for that too. Because some people do like gifts and stuff like that to feel love. I don't. I just need time and attention. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Good deal. And that's what it is. Rico, what do you say about that, man? I'm talking about the time element of it. You know, the gifts are fine. The gifts are absolutely fine. And I'm sure people do appreciate the gifts. I'm sure they do. But at the same time, when you're giving your of yourself and of your time, Rico, that can mean so much more, I think. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, now when you start talking about gifts, you're just talking about specifically on holidays or birthdays or something. You know, now that's a little different, you know what I'm saying, than just giving somebody some quality time. Even though for those that don't get any quality time, that might be a big issue. But if you give somebody quality time and then it's an event or an occasion where you have to give a gift, then I see where Ibrahim is coming from, because, you know, most people do understand the effort that was made and the thought that was put into a gift.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to shop for my grandmother. Now I could buy any little old thing for my mama, and that's crazy. But if you know my situation, you sort of understand that I was reared and I gave more. I feel more passion and compassion and love because I got more nurturing from my grandmother.
Yes.
So she was more like a mother to me. So whenever I went to buy gifts for her, cars for her, don't get me wrong, I was thoughtful for my mom or my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? For my maternal grandmother. But my paternal grandmother that raised me, man, that I would be going back and forth. It would be a fight.
Yeah.
Because I had to make sure that she knew that I bought a gift that meant something to her or that was actually that I knew she would like. Or I had to buy a card that expressed the words that I couldn't say out of my mouth. That I couldn't think of, because it was undescribable the way that I love her. And so she could tell that was the thing about it. She would always call my mom and be like, "Oh, I love when Rico give me gifts because I could tell the thought that's behind it, where it come from." So, that goes a long way when people can tell that you put thought into something that you was giving them instead of just going through the process, going through the motions. Well, at least I got you some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got me some junior size shoes. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I weigh 220 pounds. And you got me an extra small shirt.
What am I gonna do with that?
For young men.
Yeah. What am I gonna do with that?
Well, at least I got you some. I think I can find a receipt somewhere, man. You know what? They ain't think nothing about this gift. Maybe they got you a fruit cake for Christmas.
Exactly.
I mean, so yeah, it means a lot, man. The time that you put in. I mean, it might take a little longer for you to buy certain people gifts. It might take you a little longer to make a gift. So I mean, when I hear what Ibrahim did, man, it automatically clicks to me that from the men and women point of view, they automatically, how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and 1,000 words come to you at the same time. Those are those 1,000 words. When they saw that picture and knew the information behind it, that he created this with his own time and effort. Man, he created this himself. Oh yeah, everybody knew he meant something with that. That came from the heart. That came from a deeper place than just going along with the occasion. So it's definitely something that you have to read into when you think about the quality of time or the time or the effort made to show somebody that you love them or that you're giving them a gift.
Exactly. There we go. Let me ask you this: if a little child, say a little boy, if he hadn't seen let's say a little girl, because girls and dads are I know because I have 4 daughters. If that girl hadn't seen her dad in about 3 or 4 months, because he's been working out of town or whatever the case, and her birthday come, and he don't have the time because he's trying to rush to get to her, don't have the time to stop by and get her a gift. But she's having a party, and everything, and everybody's there. She got all these gifts in the world, and then he walk in the door, and she see him, and because they love each other so much, she drop everything and she just run to her dad's arm, and she jump into his arm, and they stand there and hold each other. Could that part right there be more precious than a gift?
I guess that would depend on her. I mean, if her mom has raised her to be materialistic, if he's raised her to be materialistic, she probably wanted this makeup set or this little jewelry or some clothes. I mean, you got to remember, I told you about a post this woman made. Said her 5-year-old son said he wanted some $700 Balenciagas. He didn't want a football or a remote control car, a Nerf ball.
Yeah.
He didn't want a rocket set, a log cabin set, Legos. He wanted some materialistic clothes, overpriced clothing that once you wear and get it dirty, they ain't worth $50.
Yeah.
5 years old. So it depends on when you ask these questions, man, there's a lot of factors that go into play before you just give an answer. Because the answer could be so many different things based on the environment or the conditions or situation.
I can go with that. Badger, good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Badger, we're talking about why do we collect so many things? Why are we so infatuated, if you will, with having things? and whatever you get, whatever you buy, houses, cars, jewelry, whatever you buy, when it's your time to go home to glory, when it's your time to meet your last day, you can't take any of that stuff to you. So why do you think people as a whole are so infatuated with collecting things?
Well, I know there are some that are way more into stuff than others. But for the most part, I think it's a spectrum. There are those that, as far as the house and things like that goes, is just to have a roof over their head.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun to lay out and sleep while it's raining and snowing on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, and then having a few odds and ends and whatnot. And then there are those that I swear they can't survive without stuff. There's also a medical condition of, hoarding. But I've done, I've attempted to research this stuff, that kind of stuff. And the most I've ever come up with is when a person is lacking, when when they have that emptiness inside of them, people have a tendency to go buy more stuff, thinking that that's what's going to make them happy, because that's what everyone else says, what most people say, listening to music and media and all this other stuff. You got to have this, you got to have that, and so on and so on, and blah 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 blah. Yet that temporary release of whatever hormone it's putting out,
Morphine. Mm-hmm.
Is nothing compared to when you're actually happy.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think we're taught how to be happy anymore.
Wow.
We're taught falseness and lies and live under illusions and misdirections.
Mm-hmm.
Or majority of people do.
Okay. Good deal. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Get married, get married. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Man, I'm asking a question, Toya, and I need to hear your heart on this. Why are we so and I say we, I'm not into all that, and a lot of us that's on here are not. I'm using that as a term. Why are people, let me see if they why are people, human being, why are they so infatuated with collecting things when you can't take any of that stuff with you? When your last day come, when it's time to go home to glory, you can't take any of that stuff with you. But we have this drive and motivation and desire to have so many material things. Why?
What you mean? Why? What else is there to do? Ain't nothing else to do. What else you gonna do? Besides be superficial.
Wow.
I mean, that's like what being in the flesh is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And about just thinking about something, I want a house in the spirit. Oh, I'm going to heaven to get a house and get gold. No, that's not what it's about. On earth as it is in heaven.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
That's why. See, the problem is we get it twisted down here in this little flesh, right? You forget that just like Pinocchio, somebody pull these strings. Somebody allows you to have these things in the flesh. We don't think about dying. We die daily. Don't even know it. Don't even pay no attention. Some of us, we rush ourselves to death. Drinking, speeding, promiscuous sex.
Come on.
So we don't think about it. Because it's so easy to get caught up in this little flesh that you wake your own self up. You can unkill yourself. So when it comes to this materialistic stuff, it's about getting caught up. It's about how when Adam and Eve was in the garden and they didn't have no immediate reaction, but I bet you when that son got killed, they understood what they did. I bet you when he got casted out by himself, and the Lord still said, even though he murdered, no one shall touch your flesh, but your spirit spirit is still mine, regardless of what. That's an allowance that we get twisted on a daily basis. And that allowance allows us to get comfortable being in this skin, and we get caught up. So we exchange these worldly things that we got here. We exchange that for the worldly things in heaven. Oh, I don't need no place in heaven. Oh, I'm here. I'm going to die or something. But where you going to go?
Come
Where
on.
you going to go? So it's just so easy to get caught up in this flesh. And that's the problem with many of us. We done forgot that we all Pinocchios, and God is always pulling the strings.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd definitely love to have your input on what we're talking about this morning. Material things, man. Material things. Why are we so infatuated with collecting material things? Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, to me, it all goes back to just the human condition of behavioral addiction and the desire of pleasure. You know, I think when I first started coming on this show, man, I used to talk about how man's desire for pleasure and being pleased or just being happy, joy, was a lot of the reason why other men and women suffer because of selfish pleasure. They'll if it makes them feel good, then they'll justify being okay. But then, I mean, it becomes a point to where you become like a hoarder, and it becomes extreme. You lose that balance. It takes more for you to feel good. I mean, you know, man, it's all associated with addiction and pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when people like to gamble, they need to gamble more because they want to win more. So they got to take more chances to win more money because the few times they won made them feel like they want to win more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, every day it's a fight dealing with these man-made vices that we have decided made us valuable or worth something. When people say, well, okay, you know, I mean, look at it, man. This is how bad we've been manipulated to the point to where our best and biggest, brightest, best black leaders in the past, inventors, you know what I'm saying, politicians, all these people, man, they weren't rich, they weren't billionaires, but they were hungry. They had a desire to make life better. They had a real practical lifestyle, and they yearn for a real quality of life, just to be equal and have a God-given right to, you know, be safe.
Yeah.
But now, just because somebody has been Christian or knighted as a billionaire, because we know now that these black billionaires ain't really billionaires, they just been put on paper as billionaires. When they've been knighted, we give them the title of leader and genius. We have this mindset because once somebody don't found a way to become successful and lift their status and elevation by having money and being able to have material things, they know something.
Yeah.
But I know some of the most rotten, dumb, rich people.
Come on.
Wealthy people. Don't know nothing. I mean, they dumber than a box of rocks. Ain't got no kind of integrity or morals, and don't even understand the meaning of karma. They just, you know, just completely oblivious to common sense because they've always had it easy, and what makes them feel like they are somebody is because of what they have and the access and what they can do and the places they could go and where they've been. But at the same time, they don't even know about Black Wall Street. They don't know about Juneteenth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them don't know gold come from the earth.
Wow. Wow.
So it's like, you know, that status thing, man, that status and recognition is being labeled a leader or looked upon from followers as being an idol. You know, people want to be idolized and recognized. So, you know, status means a lot to human beings. People want to be respected. Status means a lot to human beings.
Absolutely.
Because for some reason, now respect is earned by the material success that you have or the material accomplishments that you've made instead of the contributions that you made to life in general, the real necessities of life, the essentials. You know, and some people really do like to collect essentials. But at the same time, they overdoing it. You know, they may be doing it for fear that they may run out of those essentials.
It's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Got a sneeze, y'all. So excuse me. Captain, good morning. Captain, good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Hey, good morning, my brother. Assalamu
Well-
peace be to everyone on this line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Asking a question. Actually, you're asking a question, Captain. I want to hear your heart on this, man. Why do you think people are so infatuated? Why are people so infatuated with collecting material things? You've heard the verbiage. I've never seen a U-Haul following a hearse, but people want to collect all these things while they're here. And then a lot of times when they go home to glory, they leave their families and friends fighting at war with all the stuff that they've had in the past that they obtained. So why do you think people are so infatuated with collecting material things, Captain?
Well, we're living in a time with all human beings, regardless of class, creed, color, wants to find the things in life. It is the very nature of any human being. It makes no difference whether you Muslim, Christian, or Jew. We all want to find the things in life.
Yes.
I don't know about a heaven in the sky. I'm sure that it may be one, but I can't definitively say it exists. I really don't. But I do know that I can achieve heaven right here on earth. I know that. And I know that I don't know if hell is in the ground with the devil and a pitchfork. I don't know. I really can't definitively say that exists. But I know you can catch hell right here on the earth. So why not want the nice things of life? And if I get the nice things of life without a balance of who I am and what I am, and I put more value on things than I do my own self-worth, but I put more value on a car, a house, than I do my children.
Come on.
But I put more value on things that I can't take with me and don't live the principles of being a noble human being. I don't want my legacy be said that I've accumulated all this wealth that I can't take with me. Into this world I come butt naked, and out of this world I go butt naked.
Yes.
But the legacy of being a good human being lasts so much that they can say, man, you know, that brother Dennis, man, that guy was man, he took care of the poor. He was a good dude. Man, I know your father. Man, not because he had all the money, he had a Tusco, he had a Rolls Royce, he had a Bentley, not because of that, but he was a principled man. When we could learn that all those things ain't nothing but things.
Yeah.
It has a limit to it. But God, your dignity as a man and a woman, that means more.
Yeah.
Come to me, I'm just talking. And all of your bling things, my dignity.
Come on. Come on.
Treat another human being the way I want to be treated. That means more to me.
Yes.
Than all of the gold, all of the silver. Let's be human beings and treat each other with the dignity and high respect that every human being deserves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ibrahim, you wanted to say something, brother?
Yeah. The word is called endorphins.
Yeah.
The human would do anything to create pleasure. And the greatest toxic drug, the greatest drug is endorphins, right?
Yes.
That's what our body produces. It can heal and cure pain. It can do a lot of things, and that's what we seek, right? Now that's how we're used. everything that I heard the sister talking about sex and everything. I heard Rico spell out a bunch of things, but that's because that's our nature. That's our endorphin. So they sell sex. You know, they put the pretty girl, the handsome man up there, and muscle bound and sleek and fine or whatever. They didn't predicate the culture of what is called even what's called sexual or sexy. You know, and then like I heard a minister one time say, and an imam preacher said that like cigarettes. You know, we're predisposed to get things that are bad for us and think it's good for us. It's good. It's cool. It's nice. It's sexy, right? But in reality, these things are bad for us, toxic, cancer causing, and all this kind of thing. So so anyway, we're taught that. We're taught to be more convinced that our endorphins are needed to do this, that, and the other thing. And then we have supplement endorphins, drugs, or supplements from endorphins, alcohol. You know, they give us that pleasure that our body naturally gives. So when we get addicted to that endorphins, we keep seeking that thing that gives us pleasure. That's biologically part of us. Sex is a biological part. Procreation. It doesn't say how many spouses you have or how many sexual partners you have. It's a fact of nature. It's a fact of life, right? Now, then we codify it. We do a lot of things to it to make it good or bad. But the fact of the matter is, everything we do is God given. It's good, but it's how we use it could be bad. You know. So that's all I gotta say. Endorphins.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh man, I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking about the whole material thing. I just don't get it. I've never, I guess, because I've had so much taken from me that I don't really put value in materials. As far as house and stuff like that goes, or a car, I'm just thankful for them. Something like a fishing rod just makes it easier to catch fish, but I don't need it. So to lose it wouldn't hurt me at all. I'm probably one of the hardest people to shop for or to get a present for. I'd rather see a person do a good deed.
That's good. That's good.
So like, what exactly are you asking? With
Why
the
do
way
people?
you're asking?
Simplest form. Why do people love material things?
Well, what else do they know?
That's not answering my question. Why do people love material things?
I think someone caught what I said.
I understand it. I understand exactly what you said.
So it does answer your question. What
Okay.
else do they know? Like Kanye, whatever. And some of those kind of people. It's just so on and so on, dude. If all a person knows is victimization and purchasing things because it gives them this happy feeling in quotation marks, and they don't know something outside of that, that's a majority of people in America.
Majority.
Oh yeah.
Majority.
Yes.
Okay. That's a wide brush you're painting with that, brother.
I just pay attention to social media, and that kind of tells you it's a majority.
Not everybody's on social media, brother. Toya with a T, what's on your heart? Toya? Toya, are you there? Okay. Toya may have stepped away for a second. Rico, talk to me.
The same rush, man. Ibrahim hit it on the head, man. That dopamine and them endorphins to the brain that activate those pleasure centers. You know what happens when we hear sirens, police sirens, and ambulances? Loud noises. It gives us like a rush to our brain. Sometimes it's a pleasure, sometimes it's a shock, but it's still a sensation. It's a jolt. And if you ain't careful, you need that. You seen daredevils and people they call what do they call them? People that like to risk their life all the time, man, doing risky things. And you ask yourself, why they keep on doing stuff? Why they keep risking their life?
Like
like
adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man. That adrenaline that goes to the brain, man. That's what you get when you buy something. If you're materialistic, especially if you grew up, like Badger said, if you grew up not having things, then that might be your motivation and your goal to always have the things that you never had a chance to get. You ever seen parents buy Christmas for their children and it was too much or too big and the children were too young to play with it? And you ask yourself, well, didn't you read the instructions and it said that it was for children 8 and over? This child 3.
Yeah.
But that was something that they always wanted when they was a child. You know, and we could sit back and look at the cartoon and see the toys and go through that what they call it, when you go and start going through your memories, going through those nostalgic days. It does something to your brain. It's all in the brain. And the thing is if you can, depending on your condition or your trauma, it will be hard for you to find balance in that. It will be hard for you to keep everything in this perspective because maybe you don't understand you have this psychological issue with wanting to overcompensate for the things that you didn't have in the past. So now here it is, you're hoarding. You want to make sure you ain't never doing without. Oh, you grew up broke? Well, I don't got money now. I ain't gonna never have to worry about not having no money. Yeah, but you're 95 years old and you still trying to make more money. Yeah, I need more. I don't want to pay my fair share of taxes. I got a legacy to leave. Yeah, but shouldn't you give away some of that money or help some? Yeah, I can help some people, but that's gonna make them lazy. I don't want to give nothing to nobody. So I mean, there's different reasons, but it really all boils down to those pleasure centers in the brain, man. Different people have different addictions, and different addictions show up in different ways. But it really boils down to the fact that we are addicted to feeling good. And that's what we're supposed to do. We ain't supposed to want to live to feel bad. The whole purpose of life is to be happy and feel good. I mean, who wants to intentionally live a life experience of wanting to be a chattel slave? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody wants to feel good. It does something. It's something in your brain that goes off when you get that good feeling. Make you want to smile, make you happy. So many different things, but then at the same time, depending on your environment, you might just need that excitement because your adrenaline is activated by negativity and toxic behavior. So now you look forward to seeing fights. You run to the fight instead of running away from it. You run to the shooting instead of running away from it.
Wow.
Getting the innocent shot. You run to the dice games, even though you worth millions of dollars, you still can't leave the hood alone. Like they say, you can take the man out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the man because there's something about that hood that he can't let go.
Wow. You got it's
that adrenaline, man.
Exactly.
Ibrahim knocked it out, man. I mean, I don't know if people really pay attention to it. We could go religious as much as y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? And that will have a part to play in it for people that need religion to get out of it. But deep down inside, man, this is a brain thing.
Yeah, exactly. Cap, talk to me, Cap. What's on your heart?
Well, they listen, there's no question. God created the pleasure center. We ain't nothing in our brain that God didn't create. He created it for enjoyment. He created sex so you can do it. Sex become an addiction. You want that feeling. You like that rush. In law enforcement, it's called hypervigilance. Hypervigilance begins to give you that rush. Law enforcement, those in law enforcement, they like that rush. They like the chase. It gives them a high. It's called hypervigilance. It's a reality. It's attached to the pleasure center. Hey, feel good supposed to be pleasurable. You supposed to want nice things. Yes, it's addictive. There's people that select cars. Man, how many cars can you drive? What that feel? They love that. They get another car. I got the stall of cars they got. People are collectors of everything. It gives, yes, my brothers, you are on it. It appeals to the pleasure center. That's the nature of God. But when you start worshiping those things,
Yes, sir.
Now you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get a little trouble. There's nothing wrong with having them, but when you start worshiping them,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. I think it's okay for us all to want to find the things. And I believe, man, you hear people say, well, man, money is the root of all evil. All right, okay, we can say that. But I know a lot of poor people that wouldn't mind this evil ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to begin to start being a family. Right. I really try. That the root. I try to always be talking. Let's get a little ahead in our conversation and thinking. Not talking about on here, but I try. This is me to look at the root of how God created man. So when I talked about heaven, you can achieve heaven right here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a song that the minister did called "The White Man's Heaven is the Black Man's Hell."
Mm-hmm.
So all heaven is not good for some people.
Come on.
But I do believe that we all deserve to be happy. I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that, we all deserve to have pleasure, but at what expense? Where we worship it, where we would kill each other for it. I would kill you for some Gazelle glasses. I would shoot you down for some Nike shoes, or break in your home to steal your watch or your Rolex at that expense. No.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we all want nice things, and it does give you pleasure when you have them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Toya, you want to tell you back with us, sis? Toya, are you back? Ibrahim, talk to me, sir.
Yeah, okay. Well, I thank Rico for bringing that extra in. The hormone that we seek pleasure from.
Hey, Ibrahim, talking to your phone. You're a little bit low, brother. Talking to your phone.
Okay. Yeah, I thank Rico for reminding me that the one I was seeking for is dopamine. Endorphins bring out sexual appetite, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody, about farm animals, the way you get a cow to produce milk, that you spray this a male hormone in there, right? And that caused the cow to produce milk because the cow would be contented and produce milk, right? For potential of having calves or calving, right? And then another thing is like chickens. That's another thing too, right? How you get eggs that are not for not chicken, that's another thing. But anyway, dealing with that is a way to understand how our body works, right? And what's the importance of it. You know what I mean? It's a God-given thing. It's up to us to determine what, about a message given from God to do what is right, to make us happy, happy and profitable. And like the one thing said, another man's heaven is another man's hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you can, a man can have all these things and we look, oh, that's heavy, he got this, and it's a burden to him. If I had this house and everything, and I have all these things for my kids and my college, I got to work for it. I got to work just for that. Not for my pleasure, not for anything else, right? Then the men have midlife crisis. All of a sudden, you're driving a brand new Corvette. Hot chicken and fast cars. Or is it fast chicken, hot cars? I always forget, right? So this is the thing that we go through, that we trying to seek that a pleasure that's given to us. We don't know how to control it because the media and everything's control it. Control that desire. It tells you what love is. Love is this and love is that. So you have that feeling, I must be in love. You could have a malaise. It could be a stomach sickness. You know what I mean? And so that's all I got to say. I want to say more, but I have a customer coming, so I'll talk to y'all in a minute.
Okay, good deal. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, they're hitting on what I was referencing.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways to experience that stuff without having to buy things. It's just most people are not taught how.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore they seek it. Sometimes it's as an example.
Are you saying sometimes you have to trick your mind because it was said that it's a mental thing, it's a mind thing. So are you saying in a nutshell, are you saying that you have to trick your mind because, and I say that because it is a person that when they're addicted to cigarettes, they give them the patch, and what the patch does is tricks the mind in thinking that they're smoking a cigarette. When in all actuality, they're not smoking a cigarette, but they are still getting the nicotine.
In essence, yeah.
Mm.
And sometimes the patch doesn't work for certain people.
Okay, see, you go in a whole different direction, but go ahead, brother.
So, well, like for me, I smoke, but the patch doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Because it's
You do
the action of smoking that does it for me.
You do realize you just took an example that I gave you. You made it so literal. I wasn't talking so much in a literal sense. I was just using it as an example. That's all it was, brother.
I take most things literal.
Okay, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it that way. It was just an
okay.
example. Okay.
My apologies. So to me, like if you experience a whole bunch of bad stuff in life and you find something or you do something that causes you to get those hormones that feel good, like drinking or smoking or things, some people have a tendency, I'm a firm believer that it's not the addiction to alcohol or tobacco or things like that, it's the addiction to how it makes you feel. Like a lot of people that drink to chase their pain away. And then there are the social drinkers and stuff, and that's another thing though, is it's a spectrum. It depends on each individual person of why they're doing things. So, and then they're like in the gaming community, a lot of people game because they're tired of dealing with, the real world. And a majority of the gamers I'm around are sick and tired of toxic things. They're tired of toxic social media. They're tired of just walking out your front door, going to a grocery store and dealing with toxicity there. Everyone seems so selfish and self-centered that people are making gaming communities that are centered around teamwork and treating each other with respect and honor because it's become a lost art.
So what I'm hearing you say is, and I don't know, I'm not a gamer. I don't play games at all like that. But what I'm hearing you saying, there's no toxicity in the gaming community at all.
Well, no, I didn't say at all.
Okay,
it depends on. So
my thing was, you just said they go there to escape the toxicity that's in the world, and so I asked a question. I said, "You're saying to me, I don't know gaming, brother. You got to."
Well, that's why I said some.
Hey,
okay.
Brother, let me ask the question. Well, my thing is this, right? No, you said people go to you. You didn't. You might have said I didn't hear you say something. But my thing is this, right here. You said people go to the gaming community because they want to escape the toxicity of this world. And I asked you a question. I say, so are you saying to me, a person? This is coming from a person that does not know the gaming community. I asked you a question. Is there not any toxicity in the gaming community? Because if they're going there to escape it, and if there's a toxicity in the gaming community as well, are they really escaping it?
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'll be more clear. There are gaming communities that have been created to provide places that work extremely hard to make sure that environment doesn't exist. Is there toxicity in games? Yes, there's toxicity everywhere. There are people that if you do something they consider dumb or stupid, they'll call you autistic. Autistic is a negative word in the gaming community now.
Okay.
Or they'll use the N word, or they'll do this or do that, or they'll talk, or they'll do the mama jokes and all kinds of stuff. Well, if you can, but there are communities or organizations that are about mental health and about not having toxicity. And I have seen more in the gaming communities than I have in the real world anymore.
Wow. And see, and I gotta move it on because I don't want to stay on this too long. I want to get back to our actual topic. But do you understand how some people, and a lot of people do this, they do it in politics all the time. They would take what you just said, and you said a lot. You put a lot out there, but some people, to fit their narrative, they'll say, "Oh man, so you're saying that there's racism in the gaming community because you said they used it. They used, you said a lot of different things, but when you said they used the N word, some people will grab just that part, that piece, and run with it."
Okay.
No, no,
Most
no,
of the
no.
time, the N-word's
Badger,
used by
Badger,
another black person
Badger,
to other
Badger,
people.
Badger. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who uses it. It's still bad. But my thing is, I'm not. We're not gonna stay on this right here too long because we going away from where we're supposed to be. Cap, what's on your heart? Cap, you there?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else you want from me, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem, there's another subject is what you searching for, my brother. I'm a little lost in the sauce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I just wanted to make the point that a lot of times we get so caught up and consumed on things that really that really have no bearing at all. Now, I can say that people will say, well, it has a bearing to me because I want my material things. All that's beautiful, but at the end of the day, what does it really matter? If we're not treating each other right, the way to treat each other the way we want to be treated, if we hadn't got to a place where we could treat each other with love, honor, and respect and dignity, what difference does all these houses and like you said, having 15 or 20 cars? You only could drive one. You only could drive one car at a time. Why do you need 10 or 12 cars? And so we get so caught up on material things. That's my whole point of this.
Well, my brilliant brothers, Ibrahim and Enrico, they very intelligent men
Mm-hmm.
who dig into bringing certain knowledgeable facts about why we have that. These are the pledges that I think they do a very great job. And really, Ibrahim, basically, he's a very scholarly brother that goes into a lot of history that we don't know. Rico, I admire his growth and development because he comes from a different perspective. I can only add to what these brothers say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no problem giving them props because I think they're brilliant men. I don't dismiss the knowledge that they offer. I think sometimes, Brother Raheem, when they make these points, let's talk about the points they make.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not move on and dismiss their points. Let's drive their point. I think that's what we need to do when somebody bring out certain important facts.
Mm-hmm.
They give their opinion, but hey, let's see it. He said something about the dolphin and the pleasure center. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn, man, to recognize the brilliance. Don't be afraid to give credit when credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that's very important. Badger, he makes a lot of valid points, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he takes a while to get to his points, but we can't dismiss. We can't dismiss what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's, he may, again, process it a little different. But I listen, I okay, I feel what he's saying. I think, man, that we need to keep, as we say, the subject moving. As you said, we got to keep it moving on because there's so much more that we can deal with than this topic. That's all I'm saying, brother.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and my next topic is this. And Captain, I'm gonna start off with you. What is speaking of you? What is your disease? And let me clarify what I mean by saying that. When people hear somebody say something about a disease, they think about some kind of physical ailment. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what is your dis-ease? What is it that make you uncomfortable about this whole society that we're living in today?
Let me say this. What makes me at a state of dis-ease, I have a problem accepting praise.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people may find that different, but I really do. Because I don't think much of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so when somebody speaks about what I'm doing and all that I'm doing, I have a problem. So that's why I have no problem giving praise.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a problem accepting it. I don't have no problem giving it. I have a problem accepting it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know me. I know that, by the grace of God, there go I. I'm an amazing grace. I know, man, once I was lost and now I'm found.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many shortcomings that I can't handle somebody talking about me with praise. That's my disease. I get discomfort when somebody want to pray. And Captain, I really do have a problem. So I always give praise to other people.
Yeah.
I got no problem. And it ain't superficial. It ain't. I'm just saying the blow sunshine up the backside. But just that discomforts me.
Yeah.
Because all praise belongs to God.
Yes, sir.
And so I try to keep myself humble enough to not to let that stuff, because if you begin to let people make you think you're all that in the bag of chips, then you become arrogant, self-centered, so full of pride that you can't see the value of another human being. In this competition, I know more than you, you know, hey. And so I try to keep myself in a humble position, because I know, man, that I know who I am and what I am. And I thank God that he gives me another day on this planet that I may be able to correct yesterday's mistakes.
That's good. Now, when you say you don't like to receive, you're not receiving the compliments, but you're very good at complimenting other people. Is that is that, or can that be a way of deflecting, so people not coming to you and making you, putting you in that place of dis-ease where they're talking good about you, so you deflect it? Is that a way of doing that?
Yeah, that is true. Truthfully, man, 'cause I mean, I really do, man. When somebody gets a captain, I say, hey, brother, how you doing, your family? And brother, I really do. It is a deflection, because I can't take it, man. I really can't, man. The minister has said so many things good about me, but I can't remember what he said because I turned it off.
Yeah.
As soon as he said something good, I closed my ears to it. So somebody asked me, did you hear what the minister said about you? No, because why? I pushed the off button. And that maybe that's a shortcoming. I don't know what it is. But Allah knows the truth is in my heart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't lie to God. But it does become, it does do that. It really does. But I think there's so many brilliant people more than me that's on this line. I don't think we do enough in giving each other the respect that is due to each other. And so I try to do that, brother. Right?
Absolutely.
I try to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toy, you want to tee you back with us, sis? Toy, you there?
I'm back.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Toya, what is your disease? And when I say disease, I'm not talking about a physical ailment or nothing like that. I'm talking about, what is it that makes you uncomfortable about the society in which we live in today?
You said what makes me uncomfortable?
Yes, with the society in which we live in today. What is your disease?
You said what makes me uncomfortable with society today?
Yes, what is your disease? What is it that makes you uncomfortable? Yes. And when I say disease, I'm not talking about a physical ailment. I'm talking about a situation that makes you uncomfortable. What is your dis-ease? Make you uneasy with what's going on in this society today?
The state of my people. The fact of the matter is that we've come from people from 400 years, and this is what we come up with. I'm real uneasy about the state of my folks. How we don't care, we don't focus on the things that we need to, we don't pass things down to our kids. We don't even care enough for our families and the people who we have sex with to stick in and figure it, hang in there and figure it out for our children's sake. We just don't care no more.
Wow.
We don't have a standard anymore. We don't have a value anymore as Black people. And I just don't see it getting no better for us until we start turning this shit the right way. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the American dream, the American nightmare, or whatever. But the state of my people, I'm at a high level of disappointment. And not only in just my people, myself, I was one of them clowns too, because I knew for 400 years what we went through, and I still went out there like a clown doing clown stuff. So I contributed to the state of where we are. But when it comes to my uncomfortability and the things that I just can't stand no more, it's the state of where we are. Wow. And the mindset and how we process things and how we just don't, all of the things that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and even JFK died for no reason, because we're not even doing nothing with it. So that's my disease. That's my ailment. That's what's ailing me in 2022.
Wow. Wow. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good deal. Tucson, what is your, Donna Tucson, what is your disease? What makes you uncomfortable with the state of where we are today?
The will to be senseless. Just stuff that don't make no sense, and we believe it. That's sickening. I don't want to catch it. I hope I ain't got it.
Wow.
We would rather believe somebody that we know it don't make no sense. That's just downright wrong. It's not helpful to nobody. It's selfish, and it's me, my, and I don't care about nobody but myself. That's a plague that has affected the land, and we've gotten so far away from it. Well, we got so far into it and passed it on to the point that we're comfortable with it now.
Wow.
From one entity to the other, it just don't make no sense. And we happy about it. I mean, from politics to the church to religion, it don't even make no. We don't even know what godliness is. And I say we. Not mean everybody. I'm just saying the society we live in.
Exactly.
It's just like we just put God and we want him on the moon somewhere. Just somebody said something the other day that I would believe it. It said we're going to take our nuclear weapons and do target practice on shooting it at the moon. What you say?
Wow.
I mean, it's like nothing makes sense. Look at our politicians. And I'm not mad at them. Okay. Excuse me for even mentioning it. Give me a minute. Who in the world, in their right mind, other than more than 1 million people, would even consider? And I know Herschel Walker is a good athlete, but he's no politician.
Yeah.
I'm not putting him down. But you listen to him talk, and it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
But look at how many votes he got. We got a chance of runoff for what? Why are we here? Why even here? You got Trump. 70 million people. What sense does that make? And then you know what? And I'll shut up. They're gonna try again.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they definitely gonna try again. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning, Gold family. I'm doing fine.
Everybody's
doing fine.
Good to have you, brother. Good to have you with us this morning. We're asking a question, and we're asking, what is your disease? What is your disease? What is it that makes you comfortable, uncomfortable, if you will, about the current situation that we're in the world today?
Oh, okay. Current situation. When you were saying that, I was listening to everyone respond to that lesson. I was thinking about going back over my life. I try to look at things reflective of my personal history. And I was thinking about my disease most of my life. I lived in a family where my mother was evangelist and my father was Muslim in the nation. So it was always a thing we talked about the other day. We always talked about religion and politics. It's always been around me. And it was like my father and my mother, they both was vying for my allegiance, vying for me to pick a course. And I think the thing, my disease was, and from that childhood growing up like that, I resist anyone trying to put me in a box. I resist anyone to control me or manipulate me. I see that because I grew up early. I had to figure out when my father was manipulating me, or my mother was manipulating me in terms of controlling how I thought. Like some things I would say is okay, and other things that like shut up. And so it's like a thing now as being a man, growing up and being an adult. I mean, for 18, I mean, you're gonna fight. You told me to shut up, we're gonna fight. You try to manipulate me, we're gonna fight, either intellectually or verbally or physically.
Yeah. Okay.
So I struggle now. I even struggle with that. That's still a struggle. I'm asking Creator to help me with that whole thing of feeling of being controlled.
Okay. That's good.
And I think that's pretty much the environment of the world now. People expect you to to be monolithic, to think a certain way, to say certain things. People outside of you can tell you when you should say or what you should say. That's the whole Kanye and the whole thing that's going on recently. So that's my disease. And I pray, boy, because it's rough too when you're trying to hold yourself together. Paul said the thing about when the old man, when you were born again and remade, a new creation, you have to keep yourself from going and digging up that old man and strap him on your back.
Exactly. Exactly. That's good. That's good. Cassandra, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Cassandra, your phone is a little bit low, sister. It's a little bit low. We can barely hear you. Are you talking directly into the phone?
No, I'm driving.
Okay. Cassandra, I want to know, what is your disease? What is your disease? What is it that makes you uncomfortable with the current state of the world in which we're living in today?
It would probably be the injustices that I see. And that's, I live my life, trying to fight for justice for everybody. For everybody. So I think that I'm most uncomfortable when I see injustice. I think that's my pressure point right there. And it's literally, I will cry about it. I will fight about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally wanting to fight when it comes to injustice. And I'm not talking about just, going to the legislation and the things that I normally do. I'm almost ready to put on gloves and fight.
Wow.
When it comes to injustice. So I think because I've seen so much injustice that it just bothers me. That's in my personal life and, around me. So I just have an issue with that.
Wow. That's good. That's good. And see, the thing about, and let me give the phone number. People asking for the phone number. You can actually be a part of the conversation. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. And asking the question, what is your disease? What is your disease? And when we say disease, we're not talking about physical ailment. We're talking about what is it that make you uncomfortable? What is it that make you uncomfortable, uneasy, if you will, about the current state of America in the world that we're living in today? Badger, what is your disease?
I'm part white. I said it to get laughter.
Okay.
Nobody, only one person laughed.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, that's not funny.
Okay. Go ahead, brother. We got to keep the show moving. Come on now. Come on, Badger.
Man, dude. I was sitting here and I was thinking about it, and the fact that I have to learn how to be selfish to fit in society. And it's very difficult for me to learn. Because it makes no sense. Because I view surviving and what a lot of the other people do is so vastly different, especially in how it hurts other human beings. And it's wild to me to have to learn something that is so foreign. I don't know if anyone can understand that or not.
Badger, let me ask you a question. Badger. And you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. If it's out of the realm what you want to talk about, that's fine. We can move on. But is there a part of you that hate a part of you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, okay. I can go into it more, but that's up to you.
No. We'll leave that right there. Let me go to. I would talk to you after the broadcast. So I do want to have a conversation with you after the broadcast, but not right now on air.
Ibrahim.
Hold on, brother. Ibrahim, we don't come on, brother. Rico. What is your disease? What is your disease, Rico? What is it that makes you uncomfortable with the current state of the world that we're living in today?
you know, I had to try to figure out how to take that question. You know what I'm saying? So I had to look at it as, what do I look at as a disease? You know, or what is my dissatisfaction?
Yeah, we'll make
and it's right along the lines with what Badger said. You know what I'm saying? Selfishness. And see, the thing is that selfishness has a whole lot of branches that comes from that covers a lot of ground. You know, selfishness can, I mean, to think about it, I hate bullies, so I'm always defending somebody, getting in somebody's business when they're being taken advantage of. I hate for people to take advantage of people. I hate for people to be biased or unfair, show somebody, you know, favoritism. I hate greedy people. I hate people. I hate that when people do certain things, when people disrespect other people that deserve respect. That irks me. I hate it. And so I start thinking about so many different things that when I see it, it just burns me on the inside. Yeah. And it really comes down to the fact that, you know what, you have to be a selfish person to do these things. To not care about, once again, treating these people the way you want to be treated. Wouldn't you want to be treated fair? Wouldn't you want to be wouldn't you want to be paid for the work that you did? Wouldn't you want to buy something that really worked instead of having somebody rip you off and sell you a box of newspapers instead of an iPad? Wouldn't you want people to just be honest and truthful? But they so selfish that they can't even do the truthful thing or the right thing. So now they reward negativity. It's really, I mean, you think about it. Negativity is rewarded right now so much to the point to where, you know, I'm going to say if it ain't rewarded, it's almost being rewarded by not being held accountable, not being called out because we ignore it. We ignore people with a platform and with money, you know what I'm saying, because they have things that we want, you know what I'm saying. I sort of, you know, drift away to the idolizing thing too. Because now we've created idols and created leaders based on the last topic, the materialism. But that materialism also will create that selfish urge for you to have more for me. And my, and our. So, you know, like Hicks was going toward Kanye a little bit, you know, I'm gonna go with Kyrie. Man, you see how they came together and what they doing to that man? But ain't nobody mentioned the fact that Jeff Bezos got it on his platform and it's still up there. You can go up there and rent it all you want to, and actually views have gone up. Ain't nobody killed Jeff Bezos. Ain't nobody suspended him. The Jews ain't came at him and said nothing to him yet. So that's unfair. That's sort of selfish for them to do that and not be equal across the board and say, well, hey, you know what? Let's get to the root and to the source, because if we're going to get on to him and counsel him or suspend him just for mentioning it, let's get to the man that's out here putting it on the platform for everybody to see the same thing that we calling him anti-Semitic for. That's mighty selfish and uneven. I mean, but, you know, you got to have selfish reasons to pick and choose who you're going to hold accountable and who you're going to give a pass to. Favoritism.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you know, that I think selfishness, man, at the root of it all has to come down to the fact of people being selfish and not treating people the way they want to be treated.
Wow. That's good. And see, and everybody have a disease. And what y'all talking about this morning, what y'all bringing to the table, man, we need it, like Captain said earlier, we need to really delve into a lot of these things that y'all talking about, because all of them are valuable. Like of a better term, man, they really are. Let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what is your disease?
My disease is to continue the work of our ancestors. You know, is to you know, to make us whole. To get a nation started. You know, to claim this land as ours. You know, that's my disease, my passion, passed on from generations and mother and father and all like that. That is the way to roll. For me, this is our land, and that's my passion for it. And that's why I made it. I think yesterday I said that I understand. I don't blame people for being white supremacists or all that kind of thing, right? Because that's what they're seeking. They're seeking supremacy, domination of everybody. I'm not seeking that, but I'm seeking, the ownership and resources of the land that we've been on, that's being used and exploited.
Mm-hmm.
I might want to exploit a different way, maybe a more convenient way. I want to make my dent upon the world. If I say some of my people believe in something, then that's part of the world's politics and government. They could change things, That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's nothing else worthy of fighting for or working for than to seeking equality through our own strength.
Mm-hmm.
How you going to give a person equality when you have the strength to not ask for it, but demand it, and they can't even touch you or talk to you unless they give it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
For me, that is true responsibility of self. For me to determine what I need and what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Responsibility of self. This is what I believe, and that's my passion right there. And like I say, you can, you probably seen some of my website. You go across all my website, same thing over and over again. Find the missing women, where the missing children, blah blah blah. Nubian Nation. Bring back the old Black Panther in the community, work in the community, stop the violence in the community with community support, right? And everybody get pissed off at me about that. Rescue our people that don't get a chance to get rescued when all these storms come up and everything, right? Panic shock and all that kind of stuff I work with. And I down any so-called black leader, when it comes to black leader, that's own personal gain or affection.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the big thing now. They prefer to be celebrated by using words they didn't heard over and over again and want to dismiss history of the past to understand, understand what the future may bring. They have a coordinates they can move on and want to reinvent the wheel like it never happened, like it never was. And that's my thing, my passion, bring that history up to where we need it today. And then look forward to the future, our plans for the future, what we need to do. Mm-hmm. It's already been done. I hear people say, because it's angry when people say, well, we need a plan, we need to come together, blah, blah, blah. No, we need to move forward with action. We need to work.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do the work that's already been for us, and then we can improve as we go. We can change as we go. We at war, we need guns. No, we need a community to support us and be able to take care of the people in the community.
Good
what
deal.
is a gun without support of your community?
Okay, hold right there.
And how you gonna feed the people?
Exactly. Hold right there. Let me go to Captain. Captain, what are you gathering from what you're hearing from everybody?
Well, I mean, again, everybody is making a very, very, very valid point. I think we all have our own little perks of what we do not want to tolerate or make us uncomfortable. I like what Sister T said, the condition of the people, man, it makes you very uneasy. I agree. There could be many things that take us out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opportunity to have conversation with people that are genuine in trying to understand or even come up with solutions to why we're in this condition. Why do I think that we are thinking? What is the influence that creates the atmosphere that will make us hate one another? What is the root cause of hatred? Why is it that people can't get along on a religious basis or political? Why?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're getting more closer to answers than we are the problem. I think we talk a lot about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, brother, we're dealing with what Brother Rico said in terms of the history. No one wants to talk about history. And history is best qualified to reward all of our research.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a glorious history? And why is our history, particularly African American or Black people, is a history of trauma, abuse, suffering, and shame?
Mm-hmm.
What was the intent of the Father God or man who had a hand in placing us like this to this degree that it looked like we can't even come out of it? But I do believe that everything has a reason.
Yes.
And a season.
Mm-hmm.
And I do look, no matter how ugly. Remember, I said this one time. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. But if we went to the hospital and we had an infection or a sore, and you look at the sore, and out of that sore you see pus and it's bleeding and pus oozing out of to the untrained eye. Ooh, my God! Look at that sore on your hand, Lord. And then you go to the doctor. Look, doc, look, and the doctor look at the sore and he says, yes, that looks good. Whoa, doc, what you mean it looks good? I fucking look at it, doctor. The doc with the eye knows that you're looking at the poison coming to the top. That's the pus, that's the poison.
Yeah.
And then what happens when the poison and the pus is there? It produces a scab. So now the scab protects the wound and the healing takes place. To the untrained eye, our condition looks like that sore, man. But to God, it's coming to a healing.
That's powerful.
So I all I got to say is,
and it's powerful, that brother. That's powerful. And like I said, I love the way you broke that down, man. Definitely appreciate that. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Cassandra?
I'm here. We're still at disease, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your disease?
Yeah, well, I've stated what my disease is, which is injustice. I can't, I don't know why it does what it does to me, but I can't, it literally, I can't sleep sometimes when I think about the things that have been done to people and are being done to people in this country. People that have been here for years and deserve, to be treated fairly, to be treated equally, especially in our judicial system. So I just have, I can't really add much more to what I said. I have a serious issue.
Can we get past it, Cassandra? Can we make it past it? Do you think in reality?
I've been sounding extremely pessimistic lately, but I don't see it happening. And I'm a person that I fight for stuff because I believe that there can be some type of a change, but I don't believe that this country is ready for a real change. I think it's almost going to take a revolution for this country to actually do what it's supposed to do and be just and equal towards everybody here. I think it's going to take an entire revolution.
Wow. Toya with a T, let's go a little deeper in what you said about your disease. Toya, what can we do? How can we rectify that situation? How can we make it better? Toya? Toya may have stepped away for a second. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
No, I'm trying to get in, listen in, and one other thing is that got an echo. It's when we every time we come up with a plan. When I say we have a tendency to, if everybody don't join in the way that we think, that upsets us. And the solution, I don't think, is cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Your idea might not work for my life. Don't get all tied up. That's just the way it is. I mean, I'm just saying, if you are activist, that's good. I'm not. I might not be. I don't know.
Okay, you stopped all over.
Yeah, so yeah, I stopped because I'm trying to. Y'all go ahead. I'm listening in, y'all.
Okay. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I'm kind of stuck
Mm-hmm.
because the thing I want to say is something that I might not want to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, because of like experiences and things like that, sometimes you can view things as a disease
Mm-hmm.
because of how someone, people treat you
Okay.
or interpret certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And it can take a lot to overcome that, to not view it in that way. Um, which is something, I'm sitting here listening and things like that, and I'm like, I don't know if that's okay I don't know if you would consider that taking a turn or not.
Mm-hmm. No, just say what's on your heart, brother. We'll deal with it like we do. Like we do. What's on your heart?
I actually view my autism as a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because of people's interpretations, people's comments, a lot of the societies that are out here that also say, that's what it is. And having to constantly put on a mask, pretending to understand certain things or certain concepts when you actually don't, can make you feel really strange in this society.
Mm.
Um, you have to be careful comparing, you have to be careful what you say, you can't take things too literal, you can't be this or that. You have to say certain things, voice certain things, and it doesn't get talked about. And then whenever, if a person attempts, it's shot down. Everyone else's struggles are more than someone else's all the time, which is where the selfishness comes in.
Mm.
And it's part of, you know, I guess also being an activist and being around other people that also have those same struggles so much that it's easy for us to fight for other people, but hard for us to fight for ourselves because no one ever wants to listen to us, or that's the feeling it gets all the time.
Mm.
Because it's not well known. So that's why I said earlier about the selfishness thing.
Mm. Okay.
Because why else ignore other people than being selfish? If there's another word or vocabulary for it, I don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have the trauma and things like that. So like I'm sitting here and I was thinking, I guess I took the disease part literal
Mm-hmm.
because in this society, what is viewed as disease is so one-sided, I suppose,
Mm. Okay.
or can be viewed like I hope you get where I'm going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I know exactly what you're trying to say. I ain't gonna say exactly, but I think I know the ballpark of where you're going with it. Um, I think we'll come back and revisit that. Let me go to Tucson. I think Tucson said he wanted to finish what his thought was. Tucson, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I got crossed up because I'm multitasking. Anyway, but you know what plagues me is that when a person wants to have the loudest voice,
Mm-hmm.
listen to me. Listen to that. This is what I think, and this is the solution. And if you do it this way, we're gonna solve all of our problems. And this is I've been doing it, and that no. And I'm saying to myself, but it's not cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
You if I live in a culture, and you live in a different culture, or you speak a different language, and I speak one language, we don't even understand each other. So how that's gonna work?
Mm-hmm.
But your voice is loud,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying a lot, and you're talking loud. But you know what the old fella said? Talking loud ain't saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't want to reason, you want to be another form of dictation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a plague.
Yeah.
And it is a control mechanism that we don't even see. It happens all the time. And it happens over and over again because we don't want.
That we don't understand and we suffer.
Mm-hmm.
There it is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. We suffer. That's what happens when you sing the song again, man. Get him some music.
Man, look
and
at
play
him, man. We
play.
ain't trying to have no concert over here, man. We having a discussion, man. We ain't having no concert. What the world y'all trying to do around here, man?
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Man, what y'all trying to do, man? This ain't no concert, man. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya, you back with us, sis? Toya, you back with us? I think I heard some background noise going on with Toya, so we'll come back to that. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Wow. Susan, I sort of feel your I feel your energy.
Yes, sir.
And I think that, and I was going back to that thing again in my household, right? And I think the whole thing, most of my life, I was struggling was liberty,
mm-hmm.
the freedom to find my own way,
mm-hmm.
you know, or freedom to be accepted as I was, and not have to, that I have to do this to be, you know, I have to go to church with you to be accepted, or go to, you know.
Yeah.
So I think as a body of people, and this, when I look at it historically, it's like a big body. There are different parts of this body. There are different internal organs, and you know, there's a head that do the head stuff, and arms that do arm stuff, and people. It's not a cookie cutter. People have to, whether they know or not, they're contributing to the advancement of,
mm-hmm.
of the people in general. I mean, if you look at it honestly and with clear eyes, you got to see that in spite of all the problems we have ahead of us right now, and we come a mighty long way.
Yes, sir.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
We have come a mighty long way with a system that was designed in attempting to crush us at every point.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow through all that journey, through all that, the middle passage, through all that stuff, man, we here. And I think we just gotta learn to. It's about acceptance and giving people a chance to grow, the liberty to grow to where you think they should be. But you know, we all come here with different missions from the Creator,
mm-hmm.
and our life is trying to find out what is my gifts and what's my mission and how can I apply it. You know, and and I started home first. Started home inside my heart first, then reaching out to my neighbors, my children, my exes, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like a relationship that keep growing. You know, once you have these relationships, they never die. They just change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, what we on now? I mean, I've been listening, but I'm sort of, you know.
Well, we're trying to get to we're trying to go toward a solution. Where I want to go with it is toward a solution based to some of the diseases that people say that we have. So, what are some of the diseases what are some of the solutions to the disease that you posed to us earlier?
First, I think the first solution is finding out that you have a disease or an infection.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people don't realize that they're infected with that disease of greed and selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They think it's normal. That's just the way things is. That's the way it is. Dog eat dog world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to break people out of that illusion or out of that programming.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Cassandra said a key word, man. I'm going to go back to a post I made the other day. I said reparations and revolution,
mm-hmm.
or reparations or revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, some people went to talking about reparations and they thought I was talking about money. I was like, nah, man, that's repairing white people and black people, because white people need to be mentally repaired too.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody went to thinking about the physical man-made design. But I was thinking about the God design of what needed to be repaired, the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody else came back and said, "You sound crazy. You need weapons for a revolution." I said, "No, I'm talking about a mental revolution." There we go again.
Mm-hmm.
So Cassandra said a revolution. Some people might think, well, who you gonna fight? You know you can die. No, well, who said something about violence and aggression?
Yeah.
But see, there we go. We don't caught up into the way man thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And we sleep at the wheel. Somewhere we need to wake up and understand, you know what I'm saying, what this revolution needs to be. We need to understand that we have been infected with a disease of this dog-eat-dog mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why being selfish is sort of rewarded and normal. You know, we actually don't keep people accountable for doing selfish things.
Mm-hmm.
We actually vote them back in the office sometimes for being selfish enough to sit up on a podium while you run for president and pick with a disabled person.
Yeah.
Shaking like them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see what's acceptable and what's rewarded? Man, I mean, just think about the different people that have been elected president and then the people that condoned it. Up and down the line on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that we look at as influencers or as famous celebrities, they get away with certain things and have access to do certain things. Fly a little girl from island to island, country to country.
Mm.
That's a selfish thing to do. But it's also selfish for you to fly that jet and know what's going on and keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, you know, it's hard for people to understand the part that they play. Even when they see it, and sometimes they say, "Oh, that's wrong. What did you do about it? Did you say something? Did you go along with it? Did you keep your mouth shut?" Because when it all boils down to it, you can be a contributor just from you being selfish enough to say that I don't want to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them people coming saying under me. You know, I make posts sometimes, man. People get mad and they'll comment me, and then there'll be other people in my inbox. Man, what's wrong with them? They embarrassing. They sound stupid. And I'm like, yeah, but you saying it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You ain't saying it out front. Oh, I wanted to say something. I started to say something to so-and-so, but I ain't want to have to cuss them out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody like to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you have to get rid of being selfish, that means you got to sacrifice something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't like to sacrifice. So that's why they continue to be selfish and make the decisions that they make. And the reason why other people continue to suffer.
Good deal.
Not understanding that whatever you accomplish or gain that came at somebody else's expense is something that you shouldn't want to accept. But if you selfish, you won't care about who expense or who was disposable for you to accomplish what you accomplished.
Okay. Stay right there, Rico. We got to keep this thing moving. Let me go to our captain. Captain, we're talking solutions right now. What are some of the solutions? Because a lot of people put a lot of different diseases out there, and all of them were very factual diseases that this society has. So, Captain, from what you're hearing and from what you've gathered from that, what are some of the solutions that we need to do in order to move forward as a society, as a whole?
I mean, that's a $64 question.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
$64 question. Lord, if we had
Mm-hmm.
if we had to remedy that, we would be wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many layers, man. You know, you don't have to have an organization and be an activist, boots on the ground. Just be a good human being, and that's your contribution to not being part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All of us think that we have to be out there as activists. No, just be a good human being, man.
Yeah.
That is so important.
Mm-hmm.
To contribute to the rise and not the demise.
Mm-hmm.
I think God gave us all a gift, and we try to use the gift that God has given us to the degree of what the Bible talked about, the talents.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do with your talent that God gave you? Some say that they took the talent and they buried it. Some went out and used it to multiply,
Mm-hmm.
to bring others.
Mm-hmm.
We have focused on several things that's at our disadvantage. Number one, we do not control our own economic purse strings, but we do have the spending power of the size of the ninth richest nation on the earth. Our consuming power is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We have to turn that consuming power into buying power. So we have to get rid of the self-hatred. And how do we rid ourselves of self-hatred? We must begin to teach our young people, in particular the community in general, the knowledge of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Once you know who you are, then you have a great appreciation of who you are in others. So we need to teach the knowledge of ourselves. And then third, we must begin to do everything within our power to not let the enemy divide us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to sometimes swallow our pride.
Come on.
And recognize we need each other. And without each other, we will never get to the mountaintop that Martin talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So lack of love and the knowledge of self produce love, one, to begin to turn our consuming power into a buying power, two, and most certainly fight like all outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
to not to be divided, but united. That's what I would say, dear brother.
Good deal. Good deal. Ibrahim, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I'd like to correct a couple of things, right? When I talk, I'm not talking to everybody, and one side doesn't fit all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm talking about is the workers and the laborers, right, in our community. These are the people that carry the community, right? I'm not talking about come by y'all. I'm talking about people that understand the steps, that understand the steps you take. You know, like the greatest mountain, the highest mountain in Himalayas, right, in the world. It takes a lot of planning. You know, their goal is to get to the top of the mountain. You feed that nirvana and feed their needs, right? But the goal, but that didn't copy the pain of the steps it takes to get there. The crucial planning, the support, the backup, the looking at possible routes and planning ahead for different things that are coming about. And when I hear planning, a lot of times we hear planning in our community, it has none of that. There's a goal, you know, some goal is not really established. There's no point of reference to the goal. Everybody wants to do different goals, right? But nobody wants to do the work to get there. You know what I mean? That it takes. You know, I think one time they were talking about this. The only one of the guys that went to the top of the mountain got a lot of credit for it. He was from that region, right? But on the way up, he had rescued other groups and brought them back down. And then when he wanted to cover the top area mountains in that area, Tibet, right? He was a Tibet, and he did that. But he did that. He was able to not only do that, he honored his people, because the people do that all the time, helping other people get to the top of the mountain. He showed that not only he could do that, but several times he had to rescue people, other groups, from the top of the mountain. So this tells me one thing, right? That the mountain I believe that Martin Luther King was talking about was that mountain that we can get to through our efforts. And one thing, unity comes through work. I've never seen a unity that just aspires by itself. It comes out of need, desperation, you know, the helping, you know, of other people because they have the same need and desperation you have. That's how we kind of came together at different times. And another thing about history, we have been turned against history by bourgeoisie, the Roughly, the one that wanted to talk about Charles X. They didn't read all of his book, but they talked about Charles X. You know, that somehow our history talks about degradation and starvation. It's a part of our history, right? But the great part of our history is our survival. What did we do? What did we accomplish within all that? That, you know, because that way, if we were to actually look at the history that way, then we'll look upon ourselves and what are we talking about? What are we doing? You know, and it would come to almost zero. You know what I mean? We're doing absolutely nothing, and we're trying to reinvent the wheel. The plan has always been established. It's been said over and over again. You know, it's said in my family, and my father probably told his father probably told my father and mother. You know, it's a go ahead. You know, conquer this world, right? Be somebody, grow. You know, and be plentiful, not just multiply, but be plentiful. You know what I mean? And create your own space, right? Be great. Be that one that we're looking for to come. You know, and that's what scared a lot of people, white people in America back then. Mm-hmm. You know, that those people were trying to rise up and take control of their environment and their destination. But we don't want to do that now. You know, so the middle class, like you look at the history of the middle class, they told us the civil rights started in 1955, and this lady Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. No, that was the NAACP, and it was a 14-year-old girl that started, Claudette Colvin. I stand for her, and I will approve it, right? But another thing too, we don't want proof. When they said this is a revolution, I come with proof. I come with proof. I come with the history of action for people. Any way you want to go. If I have an action, this is a start up. I didn't just wake up one morning. This is 71 years of going through the struggle, right? You know, being born into a segregated South, a Bible Belt, oppressed religion, oppressive people's culture and everything. You cannot change the minds of white people. And I think it was I don't know if it was Marcus Garvey or somebody said, oh no, Malcolm X said that why we start trying to change the minds of white people, and we need to change the minds of our own people, right? That's success for us. Revolution is broad, it's challenging, right? It's a generalized term. The actual doing of it is a very concise, planned out matter. It's what your goals are. Do you want to be in control? Do you think you can bring a better way of life? Right? Ask those questions. Can you still supply water? Can you supply food? Can you do all these things? Can you keep the airlines going? All these different things. Can you build cars? Well, we had one black man that built cars. We had one black man that owned an airline.
30
So,
seconds.
you know, we don't talk about it like that. You know, so those are just what we need to talk about. How we survive. The Weaving Times will be coming up pretty soon. What the hell is Weaving Times mean? Hey. And then we talked about Black Sam and Eli Whitney. The cotton gin made the history that we know of slavery. That made the history in the 1830s when blacks were already freed in most of the parts of the country by Guillermo, the second president of Mexico, was black. So
hold on right there, brother. Hold on. We got to keep it moving, brother. Don't go to where you stay right there where you at. We got to keep this thing moving. As a matter of fact, let me go to Cassandra, and after that, we're going to Willa. Cassandra, we're talking about solutions. We're talking about solutions right now, and what do we need to do as a solution to some of the things that we're talking about and that we're dealing with in this society? What is on your heart?
I believe that it will take unity, us coming together. You know, I'm just not. But when I say revolution and change, I'm talking about the people of the United States as a whole, those that want to see something different, those that want to see us operate in unity and equality and justice. So I'm not talking about just black people, because we live around, most of us live in diverse neighborhoods. So I'm not trying to say I don't want to be around no white people. I don't want to be around no Mexican people. I don't want to be around no Korean. I'm not saying that. I want to see people come together, because the longer that we live in this country, we see that's why white supremacists are so upset. We see that this country is constantly changing. It is becoming more and more diverse. So to say that I just want a black space, that's not what I'm fighting for. I want to see us come together and build a nation in unity where everyone can be treated with equality and injustice. That's just me.
Hold on, brother.
What are you talking about? What is he talking about?
Hold on. Both of y'all, hold on. What is he talking about? Cassandra, Ibrahim, hold on. Let me keep this thing moving, because we're about to take a turn, and we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that today. Willa.
Yeah, what did I say?
Nothing.
Come on, Raheem. Come on.
Willa, I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. Willa, what is, and listen to my question, what is your disease? What is your disease? And when I say disease, I'm not talking about physical ailment. I'm talking about, what is it about this society that we live in today that makes you uncomfortable? Uneasy, if you will.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm going to say the behavior. The behavior of our young people is what really makes me uneasy, for several reasons. Not only because they don't have a thought process about what life means, but just how disrespectful they are to older people, to the elderly, the ones who have worked and did things for us, who set the set point for us to have a better life. They don't have no respect to, if they see an elderly standing up to give them their seat, or to if they see an elderly carrying a lot of bags, to
Can I help you? No more of that. That's what aches me as a disease nowadays. And it really hurts because I know that they are the future. So if this is what the future looks like, if this is what the present looks like, man, it makes you think about what the future is going to be like,
Wow.
Raheem. And that's right there is a disease to me.
Wow. Joseph, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Morning, sir. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir. Sure can. And
All right.
asking the question, Joseph, what is your disease? What is your disease? What is it about this society we live in today that makes you uncomfortable, uneasy?
What? Well, hypocrisy. All of these creeds that we have, all men are created equal, and liberty and justice for all, and all these things. And then when I look at the leaders or the so-called leaders, and the way they try to manipulate political policies to maintain the status quo or promote a white nationalist agenda in a multiracial country. That's one of the problems that irks me. Coming out of the Civil War, I think it was Abraham Lincoln who said that woe unto the ones from whom offenses come. And he was speaking about slavery. He said it was God's will that the North and South would pay for 250 years of unrequited labor. This was Abraham Lincoln talking toward the end of the Civil War in the second inaugural address. So he saw the thing for what it really was, but we have since seen layers of myths about what the Civil War was about, layers of myths about going forward and what the country should be doing. The country should be about the business of being fair to every citizen in this country, without exception. Shouldn't be no differences between races. Shouldn't be no pay inequities. Everybody should get paid the same. Shouldn't be no kind of laws on the books that favors one in housing over the other people in housing. So those are the things that bothers me, and they're very specific. And I try to keep a list so that, whenever we decide that in Marseille that we're going to move, then we should enumerate everything and go after it systematically, the same way they set it up systematically.
Yeah.
We should systematically take it down.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. That's the number. Give us a call. We're talking about what is your disease. Before I go further, I got to say good morning to my mom. My mom is watching this morning. Good morning, baby. Love you. And I had to do your shout out, baby. I got to do your shout out every day I see you on here. Let me go back to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Badger, coming to you next.
Yeah, man. I mean, once again, to me, it all comes back down to one root thing, and it's selfishness. Everything everybody is saying, I agree with it. And when you think about the systemic racism, and you think about the behavior of the young adults, to say all these old people need to just die on out, the disregard of life, and just saying people just need to die on out. Come on, think about that. That disregard for life is very selfish to not care about somebody else's life, where you say they just need to die, move out the way so we can take over. Y'all need to move out the way, y'all old people. Y'all blacks, y'all Chinese, just move out the way. We don't care nothing about y'all. You immigrants, just a disregard for life. Once again, that's another selfish, what would you call it, a behavior or just, desire? All of it, man. We didn't really, Captain Dennis said it key, you know what I'm saying? Just do what's right. Just do good, even if you don't believe in God and that makes you feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Equate God to good. Just do good. Do what's right. Do people the way you want to be done. Put energy out there. Make a contribution that if you needed it, maybe if somebody did the same thing, it would help you. Know that it's going to help somebody just because it's the right thing to do. But some people are too selfish. They start thinking, well, wait a minute. If I give them this, then that means I ain't going to have it. So once again, it goes back to that word again. Sacrifice. I said it a second ago. You know what I'm saying? And Captain Dillon, man, he hit a key earlier, man. We got to quit just jumping past stuff because we ask for a solution and then you hear one and go on to the next.
Well, the next
biggest part of it.
But the next person could actually talk about what was said, though. You know, I'm keeping the flow. I got to keep the flow. And
it ain't just with you; it's with everybody realizing that. But it's a selfish reason for somebody to say, "Well, you know what? I ain't heard that because I'm anxious to say what I need to say." But how about, you know what? Voila, that is sacrifice. They even said it in the Bible. Ain't that what Jesus did? You mean to tell me y'all been preaching the word of Jesus this whole time and still don't get sacrifice is the key? The ultimate key, the ultimate sacrifice. I ain't never read a Bible, but it all just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That if you get out of yourself and do people the way you want to be done, that means you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of stuff in a lot of different ways. You're going to take a lot of anger. Maybe you have to shut your mouth because you need to sacrifice what you want to say and just be the Indian. Don't be the chief.
Say that.
Be the soldier.
Say that. Say that.
Sometimes you have to do that. You have to sacrifice in all type of ways. Sometimes you might want to say something to your child or you want to say something to a policeman, but you better be careful. You might have to sacrifice. Hold your tongue.
Wow.
Keep your cool. A lot of times when we keep our cool, we have to sacrifice. So, I mean, you know what? We could all come up with different things that we don't like about society, and it's all about the way society is acting or behaving or doing things or something has created. And all of those things come from somebody being uncaring about the lives of others. They didn't want to make the sacrifice to do what was just right, the right thing to do. It takes a sacrifice sometimes to just do the right thing. Especially if you ain't going to benefit from it. But if you're selfish,
but you know what, Rico?
You ain't going to have no problem saying, hey, as long as I get mine, I don't care what they do to you.
And you know what, Rico, one of the things about it too, man, is what people don't realize, they get caught up in certain situations, and when they get caught up in certain situations, their anger sets in, and anger majority of the time leads to some form of destruction. When you lose control, that's exactly what I mean. You lose control, and so you'll find yourself in situations that you're not going for a solution. You're going for your kind of results. But let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart? Cap, coming to you next.
Man, come
on, Badger.
Rico beat me to it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've tried to say many times. You know, like when we were talking about like confirmation.
Okay.
A lot of people expect confirmation. I don't. Because to me, if I was able to do something, it's because Great Spirit allowed me to do it. And to me, that's what being a servant is all about. You sacrifice your time, you give your time, because that is the greatest gift that we are given. Why don't we return it? Why don't we also give too? And that helps combat selfishness. It helps combat greed. It helps combat so many things. But it is one of the least taught in this country. Is how to, because think about a lot of things growing up. You know, you have to protect yourself. You know, nobody's going to help you. Like it just goes on and on and on.
They hit you, you make sure you hit them back.
Yeah. Well, to me, if you hit me, I'm just going to go, all right, why'd you do that? Let's talk. I'm not going to respond or react to it. I'm going to do the best I can not to. Now, if you hit my kid or my wife, I'm going to tear you to shreds. I'm going to protect my family.
Yeah.
But me personally, if you hit me, I'd rather you hit me than go out there and hitting women and children. And then we can talk about it. Whoop-de-doo-da-day. In my head, like, oh, well, I've dealt with so much abuse. I don't care.
That's good. That's good.
In that moment, I'm serving, and that's the way I work so hard to walk and live every day. And I talk about it all the time on the show. And then here's another another person saying the same thing. And then another person has said it before. Like everyone on this show, everyone that I've ever heard call in on this show has touched on it at one point or another. The next step is to do it.
Is to do it. Good deal. Good deal. We're gonna go in this order right here. We're gonna go on Captain. We're gonna go two start. Then we're gonna go to Mr. Hicks. Cap, what's on your heart, sir?
Yeah, but I don't know what. I mean, it's really great to be among the Morning Glow show. I get so much from it. It caused me to do some deep thoughts and look into what contribution I can give to kind of lend my little 2 cents to help. You know, I mean, I think we all have a great opportunity to do what's right.
Yes.
We're facing some challenges in our domestic lives, most of us, or financial life. Things are not easy. We're coming up on a holiday that's not so favored by the Native Americans. I'm sure Badger got something to say about Thanksgiving. But as people come to the table, instead of Thanksgiving, are they giving thanks? And we're thankful to God that we're able to have another day to get it right. Are we better off treating our fellow human beings the way we want to be treated? We have just witnessed things that our community have nosedived into a state of savagery.
Yeah.
When we come out this nosedive, if I didn't believe we could, then why would I get up in the morning? Can we get down the road? I believe before the year's over with, there'll be some things that will pretty much bring us to the table. In the Bible, it talks about the dry bones in the valley. And there was upside that God told the Son of Man to prophesy. Will these dry bones come together? Well, that seems to be us as a people. Will we ever come together? But the man said to the Son of Man, blow wind on those bones. And the wind represents about hardship, struggle, difficulty. So it seems like every time there's hardship, struggle, and difficulty, we seem to come together. So it looks like God is blowing winds on those bones. And the scripture says, and they came together and they stood up an exceedingly great army. So I think the hard times seem to bring us together. And I think this is going to cause us to come together as a people. Is the hard times that I see that's on the horizon. That's what I have to say, brother.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to two. We're gonna go to two star. We're gonna go Hicks. Then we're gonna go to Leonard. Two star. What's on your heart, brother?
No, I was thinking about it in this, for instance, if you got a military force, and I'm just saying, for the sake of conversation, they don't just have a Navy. They have Marines, Army, Air Force, but they part of the same military force.
Yes.
They have so many. They have parts of the military force that nobody knows anything about, but they're fully functional. They don't ever say, okay, everybody just join the Navy and we're gonna swim across. No, sir. You can't swim across the world because there's land somewhere. Somebody has to go across the land. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you got to take it to the air. You got to be able to see from up high. So if you take a drone, don't put yourself in danger. You got unmanned, whatever you want to call it, planes, drones, spy planes that have nobody in it, but somebody's operating it.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you talk about doing something, it takes minds, people from different places, just like we have on the Morning Glow. We might not agree sometimes. Sometimes we fall out. Not totally, because we keep coming. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because if you just walk away from the fight, then what's the point of you joining in the first place? So that's what's on my mind.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to I say Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks next, and then after that, going to Leonard. Then we're gonna circle back around. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Wow. Tucson. That's good. I guess whatever I was thinking sort of pivot off what he just said. I see that these talks, this communication is, for me, it's therapeutic. It gives me a chance to reevaluate my thoughts and how I present myself. And I think without the I wouldn't have much of an opportunity to do that. I learned so much about me and about others. So I guess, so somewhere during this conversation this morning, maybe a mixture of what everyone said at different points triggered something inside of me, and I had a sense of peace. And I guess I didn't know that I didn't have the peace until I felt the peace. With this, I always follow elections. I follow the posters. I always have since Kennedy, since I was in high school. We did it as a student process, and I always done that. And it gets you tired in knots. It's like watching a basketball game and rooting for a team. And I think how I begin to use basketball in competition as something for myself is to watch a game and not have lines, not for a team. Just watch the act and develop what I'm going to root for as I watch the game develop based off the energy coming from the players. But anyway, I appreciate this format here, and I appreciate everybody on this line, and let you know on some level that your words you might think you're throwing them out there and it's not having any effect. We're all affecting each other. That's the interconnections of the human being.
Absolutely.
It's that we're all connected.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. That's good. That's good. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We definitely love to have your input. We're asking, what is your disease? What is your disease? And when we say disease, we're not talking about your physical ailment. We're talking about what is it about this society in this day and time that rubs you the wrong way, makes you uncomfortable, uneasy, if you will. Leonard, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Leonard, you there? I think we might have just lost Leonard. I think we might have just lost Leonard. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis?
I'm grateful for the platform as well. I think that we, even if we disagree, Raheem.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Even if we can agree to disagree. That's my thing. I work with a lot of people, sometimes people that are totally against what I believe and what I stand for, but I can sit in a conference room with them and have a conversation without attacking them and without them attacking me. So it's okay for us to have, disagreements without being disrespectful. Yeah. And I really try to be, conscious of that. Even if I speak assertive, I'm still trying to be respectful because I'm not aggressive. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm not aggressive, but I am assertive. So, I just want to say that, I just, we don't have to agree on everything, and we're not going to agree on everything. But you know, there are lines that we should not be crossing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go back to Leonard. We had lost him for a second. Leonard, what is your disease, brother? Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine.
Good deal. Good deal. What is your disease? When I say disease, certainly I'm not talking about physical ailment. I'm talking about what is it about today's society that irritates you to the top level of irritation? That's a word, brother. That's a word. What is it that irks you, if you will?
Oh, the failure of people to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in fighting back.
Uh-huh.
And I don't understand why other people don't. I don't understand what's the argument about. I don't understand what needs to be talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a side. Pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what has changed about me, that I've gotten older. It has become more intense. Is that, you know, if you're not gonna fight, I'm not gonna fool with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not gonna do what's right, I'm not gonna fool with you. I'm not gonna get into it, but how do you feel about this, that, or the other?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to do the right thing for the majority of us, I'm not doing nothing for you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because you're that type of person that is there to just take,
mm-hmm.
and you'll never give anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be beside yourself about, well, we come from here and we come from there. The fight is today. What you gonna do today? Like, say, for instance, it's not that we have people, it's people now, they fighting for what's wrong and winning. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's because they'll fight for it.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder why this place is run so by the wicked? It's because they fight harder than you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll fight for what they want. You won't. You'll sit down and say, well, I'm black and the system ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm just a woman. Or I ain't nobody like me. Don't nobody like me. It's not about that. What you gonna fight for?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna fight for? What you gonna stand up for? I hear people talking about our family's this, our family that. Well, hell, you left your mother and kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lord.
Don't come to me talking about family if you're not doing nothing, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Show me where you're making amends for the wrong that you've done, because we've all done wrong. But where are you making the amends?
Mm-hmm.
Are you dedicating your life to something? I remember when my time came around to file a claim with the government, and I couldn't afford it, right? Because I had a race case,
mm-hmm.
and I couldn't afford it. So I said to myself, I'm going to help everybody else. Even though I can't afford to file my claim, I'm going to help anybody and everybody else
mm-hmm.
that has the same issue.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for over 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
Free of charge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's how important it is to me that
mm-hmm.
we help one another.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And those that ain't going to help, we're going to have to leave them behind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rakim said in his song, one of his songs, say, dig him, I never dug me, couldn't follow the leader long enough, so I drug him. It's a danger zone. You should have arranged this on face. Anyway, I'm about to go somewhere. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, once again, to me, that's another example of being selfish,
mm-hmm.
being greedy, being a deadbeat father, or deadbeat mother, or the neglectful, toxic mother or father. That's
mm-hmm.
selfish. Man, I saw a post earlier that said when losing isn't an option, then you've got to do everything possible to win. That's
mm-hmm.
true. But does that include cheating?
Mm.
Because if you cheat, then you're selfish.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is once again, there's reward in being selfish, but you don't see too much reward in sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, I was like, man, I said, out of all the things, you know, this brain computer we come into this world with, we don't come with a whole lot of programming to put out, but we come wired to receive.
Mm-hmm.
We're not pre-programmed. We come wired to receive everything. And I realized that we see a lot of ways for people to make it and get out here and get it and do for themselves, but we don't see no examples of how to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see too many examples of reward for sacrifice except for in the Bible with the Jesus story.
Mm-hmm.
So what's popular and what's trending? Selfish behavior, dog eat dog world, money over everything.
Yeah.
As long as I got mine, all of that
Mm-hmm.
is nothing showing you about the reward behind charity, the reward behind sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reward behind sacrifice sometimes.
Yeah.
But it depends on how desensitized you are to the experience of other human beings.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't make you feel good to see that you were able to help somebody else out of a situation, then you don't know what that reward of feeling good. I mean, you might be the biggest preacher, but the preacher ain't gonna feel good until somebody praise him. I'm like Captain Dennis. Man, I haven't been good with receiving praise.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, words ain't nothing but sound that come out your mouth. But sometimes every now and then you can tell when somebody really appreciate it. And if you ain't careful, I'll turn my head, walk off, brush it off, deflect it so we get off of it. I might shed a tear. Because it feels uncomfortable, but it also feels good. But I have been in a situation where I did get the big head.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how that can work. I also been in a situation where I know somebody was trying to give me the big head and they was overpraising me. Wait a minute now. I know what I did was good, but it wasn't all that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? What you trying to get out of it? But you know, it's really, I was thinking, you know, we're going to talk about what we can do to cure some of the disease. Like I said, first is identifying that the root cause of the disease is selfishness, and then finding out how to counter selfishness, which is by sacrifice. The Bible was put there, and it's been there for years and years and years since before we came along to express that message. And out of that message, you can't find too many more examples in that. And nothing we do today that's showing you that is rewarded. If anything, you're seeing the disrespect, trolling, going viral, recording people drowning and fighting, recording people getting shot in the head. All that stuff is rewardable. Hypersexuality, promoting WAP. All of that that's the reward. Ain't nobody saying, you know what? Let's reward this person for just being good, doing what's right, and trying to actually make a contribution to something positive that affected somebody besides them. We don't hear too much good news about. I said it earlier. Our leaders aren't intellectuals anymore. Our geniuses, quote unquote, aren't intellectuals no more. They people that made $1 billion, so now they know something. Because if you got to know something to be worth $1 billion, when really true, all you got to do is know how to do what you told to do and not cross nobody's line, or they'll cancel you and knock you off that list. You better know how to act right if you want to make $1 billion, but that don't make you a genius.
Exactly.
That make you selfish.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let me go right now. We'll go to Willow.
Hey, Ryan.
Well, what's on your heart? Jay, coming to you next, brother. What's on your heart? Sis, talk to me.
First, I wanted to say good morning to Mona. I forgot to say good morning to them.
Good morning.
But what's on my heart? After listening to Rico, man, I tell you, he could sit down and if he took the time, write him a book of confidence and wisdom. You know, a lot of times, you know, I know Rico said that he don't read, you know, he don't read the Bible. He's not a real spiritual person, but I'm telling you, God is working with him because he got a good heart. I could see that he has a good heart. But because what he was saying is in the Bible. You can find it in Psalms 91. It says, only with thy eyes will thou behold to see the reward of the wicked. So, you know, when you
So you're saying that brother already preaching. That brother already preaching. Is that what I'm hearing you say, Willow?
He already preaching and don't even know where to go to find the scripture.
Ain't
He
that
already preaching. Because I'm telling you, you go to Psalm 91 and you will see it. You will see it. Only with thy eyes will thou behold to see the reward of the wicked. Because, you know, we're supposed to worship God by faith, not by what we see. Because we worship God by what we see a lot of times, then we won't have no hope. We'll believe there's no hope because we have the knowledge to say that when I get stage 4 cancer, it's going to take me out. Then that knocks out your faith. Then you can't, but then you won't believe that God can conquer anything. He can heal anything because your knowledge will be saying, man, you know, stage 4, so-and-so died of stage 4. So you see how that works. You know, so I just wanted to say, Raheem, that I thank you so much for this show because just like I don't know who it was, but it gives me an opportunity to examine myself.
Yeah, Captain
You know,
said
it's
that.
not about me.
Mhm.
I'm not that kind. I've never been a selfish person,
Mhm.
and my heart is always with the elderly and with children. I
Mhm.
love people, first of all,
Yeah.
and I always see the good in people. My husband said to me, Willie, you can't save the world. Stop, because sometimes he thinks that I'm being taken advantage of. But I
Mhm.
tell him, I'm a farmer. I plant. And what I plant, I'm going to sow. So if
Mhm.
you're a farmer and you plant trees or you just a planter, you plant flowers, you're going to see the beauty of it one
Mhm.
day because it's going to grow.
Yeah.
Because why? You're nourishing it and you feed it. That's how my heart is right now.
Mhm. Good
So
deal.
I just, wish that other, that there were more
Mhm.
that think like me, but unfortunately, because of the way and the timeline that we in, nah, it ain't happening.
Absolutely.
And that's what's on my heart. Right
Good
now.
deal, good deal, and that's good. That's good. And by the way, I think there was Cap that said that as well. Joyful J, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good day, everyone. Good day. How's everyone doing today?
Hey, doing well, brother. We asking, what is your disease? What is your disease? I know you've been listening in for a minute, brother. So jump right in. What is your disease? What is it that make you uncomfortable with today's the way that today's society is going, operating, and or not operating?
I first off, I want to again agree with everyone who's spoken. I've been listening while everyone was talking. I'm just actually getting on, but everyone makes some great points. And the young lady who just spoke before me is right. Rico is a preacher.
Preacher.
Period. Again, you don't have to know the Bible, and God always amazes me because people who don't even read the Bible, it is innately in you. God said He made us after His likeness and His image. So if we're made after Him, we're going to have some attributes of Him, and I see that so much in people like Rico, people like Cap that comes on, people like Ibrahim, and even my brother Wade, or Badger, if you will. I see it, and it amazes me. Now, what vexes me about today's my disease is the no heart of people these days. People have no heart, in my opinion. And like Rico and other people said, selfishness. You remember, if those who have read the Bible or who know anything about Adam and Eve or the devil, if you will, he was jealous that jealousy. So what was that? As Rico and other people said, that was selfishness. He wanted the attributes of Christ. He wanted to be like Adam and Eve. So because he couldn't do that, he devised a plan to take what they already had, what God had already given them. In the same manner, in today's society, as you've been talking about what's my disease and what's why people so easily into materialistic things, is because people want everything to show, as others said earlier, validation. I want to seem like I'm important too. I'm just as important as you. Yes, sir.
Just like somewhere I read. Now I'm gonna throw I'm out of you, but you take it now. Somewhere I read was one brother stole another brother's birthright by giving him food because he was hungry.
Come on, you talking to me now. Now you talking Bible, bro.
Come on.
Again.
Yes.
I'm sorry. He stole his birthright. Why? Because of jealousy.
Yes.
And it wasn't even him that was jealous. Those who have read the Bible know it was mom. It was the mom that wasn't it was Abraham's concubine, if you will. It was the other mom. It wasn't his wife. It wasn't Elizabeth. It was his concubine. And she was jealous. So she said to her son, because the other son is outgoing and he's going to get the birthright, you do it. I'm going to tell you what to say. I'm going to tell you what to do so you can trick him and you can get what's his. And what is the world doing today as we look into 2022, about to be 2023? Everyone's trying to get everyone else's birthright. If you got the chain, I want your chain. I'm going to rob you and take it. If you got the money, I'm going to rob you and take it. Why? Because I want it so that I can have status, so that people can see me as being important. Not because I'm important or not because you're important too, but because I want to have status. And my status is what motivates me to take from other people, to do whatever it takes to be in the status that I desire to be in. And that's what vexes me, or that's my disease with the current state of America, or the world, if you will.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so many layers there, man. We gonna run out of time, so we might have to jump back on this again tomorrow. We definitely gonna run out of time today. Let me go to Joseph. Joseph, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm just enjoying the conversation, the input from everyone. I'm just really listening and receiving. I'm in that mode right now. Yeah.
Wow. Man, we gonna definitely. Toy, you want to tell you back with us, sis? I think Toya had to step away for a second. Toussaint, talk to me.
No, you just reminded what my dad said. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you sure enough can listen and learn by listening. So I'm like a lot of that. We come to the point that we just soak it all in, and hopefully we can gain some insight.
Absolutely.
So it's a good conversation.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving. We may and I'm gonna tell you something. We might have to revisit this tomorrow, man, because this we're gonna run out of time, man. We're gonna definitely run out of time. I know we are. And that good morning,
I'll pay for an extra hour.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Perfect.
Good deal. And then we asking the question, what is your disease? What is your disease? And when I say disease, I'm not talking about your physical situation or whatever it may be. I'm talking about what is it about today's society that makes you uncomfortable? What is it about today's society that makes you uneasy, if you will, and you wish there was something that could be done about it?
Well, you know what? To me, as a full-fledged woman, I have eliminated, and one who just turned 60, I eliminated all of that from my being, because it's about action. If you don't put action to anything, it does not get done. So it doesn't do any good for me to complain unless I'm going to get in and take care of the business at hand. The United States of America runs as a republic. And when they run as a republic, it gives the power to the people, okay? Got to give the people, what they want.
We ain't having no concerts now. We ain't having no concerts now.
What they want. Okay? When you get the people what they want, what it means is that we, the people, also have to give the people what they want. See, it doesn't say that the government has to give the people what they want. The people have to give the people what they want. So I don't get into all of that because I grew up in Los Angeles, California. My dad had his own business. He was in real estate. And so I am continuing the lineage to handle that in California. No, go get it. In my book, I got a new book coming out, and it's called The Anthology of Thought Leadership. And the first chapter is go get what's yours. And when I say go get what's yours, it's go get what's yours, go get what's your friends, and everything. Go get it and take over the things that the government is really not supposed to be a part of.
Wow. Okay. Good deal. Captain, what's on your heart? Cassandra, come to you next.
I like what Sid said. I mean, that was on point, man. I mean, God. Oh, man, you just have to go into deep thought, man, because a lot of things are running through my mind. The minister spoke this morning on the Kyrie and Kanye controversial, and he spoke with such diplomacy, wisdom, and dignity that it wasn't cheap, and it's addressed to Jewish people about Black people's concerns. And he mentioned, you don't want to admit no culpability in your hand in painting Black people in Hollywood, Mantan, Marlins, and Tarzan. You don't have no culpability in how you paint it up. But as soon as somebody like Kyrie, who wanted to talk about getting the knowledge of himself, begin to wake up and just posted a video that he didn't make, now you want him to jump through these hoops. I mean, it's almost like, wow. No one wants to talk about the role they played in our demise, but everybody want to talk about their own struggle. So we are battling a knowledge of who we are, what we are. Even my Christian family on this line, I'm sure there's many things that I was blessed to say that make them have a better understanding about the nation. Maybe they didn't know. And most certainly, they have said some things that gave me some in-depth study about Christianity I may not know. But to exchange knowledge, to exchange one's experience, it makes us become empathetic to each other to the point where there is no insult. There's no insult. And as long as we don't insult each other about where we live and our experience, I really see, man, we turning the corner. I mean, I don't know how long is it gonna we turning that corner, but I do see, truthfully, in my 68 years on this planet, I see us getting it together. I really do. And thank you, Brother Raheem and Morning Glow family, for tolerating Brother Dennis. For real, I really thank y'all for being patient with me, because I'm learning, I'm growing, and God knows I may not be the man I should be, but thank God I'm not the man I used to be.
Absolutely.
And don't disrespect me, because God's not through with me yet, family.
Hey, you my brother, man. Hey. I'm gonna love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. That's just what it is. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
No, I'm grateful once again for the team and everyone. I'm learning so much about me, about about our history, and about how we can. I mean, people on here really come up with great ideas about the things that we can do, change our situations, and I'm just excited about that. Every day I come on, I'm learning something new, and that's everything to me, because that's what I want to always be doing. You never can stop learning. That's to me. I feel like every day God is teaching me new things about me and about people. So I'm grateful for that, and this platform gives me the opportunity to learn.
To God be the glory. I thought Cassandra was about to break out in the song when she said every day. I thought every day I'm hustling. I said, oh Lord, Cassandra about to break out into a song. Lord Jesus. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
First, let me commend Annette, man. She has got a pretty decent voice, man. And if y'all notice, anybody come on here with a decent voice, right? He ain't go to hate like, you know what I'm saying? He got something to work with. Y'all ever notice that, man? They come in, he sounded pretty decent, man. He go to try to mute him and stuff.
Watch this. Okay, go ahead and sing then, Rico. Go ahead and sing, brother. I'm gonna give you the floor. Go ahead and sing.
I can't sing. I ain't even play like you. I'm in my reality. I know reality.
Look, everybody just want to hate on my singing skills, man. I don't understand it, brother. I don't understand.
Well, what it is, you've been singing in the shower too long. The acoustics are different. They'll fool you in that shower, man. Them acoustics in that shower make everything balance out. Just right.
Man, maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Can I get a chance to make a statement after?
Brother, we got to get out here. Join us tomorrow, brother. We're gonna keep that thought right down. We're gonna come back to it tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow the subject will be, you know what I'm saying, what are the different ways we can show and reward people for being unselfish and showing us how to sacrifice and how can we reward it, because it needs to become a popular trend. You know, it's been, like I said, I don't know how old the Bible is, but since then, you know what I'm saying, it's been trying to teach people to sacrifice and be righteous, and somehow we ain't rewarding that. So maybe that could be something specific we could get to, different ways that we can make sacrifice and doing the right thing rewardable or cool again.
Exactly.
With that being said, if you missed today's broadcast and would like to hear or see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. And normally I will give everybody the opportunity, but I actually got a few things I got to do this morning. I got to get out of here. I got to when I get finished here, I got to run right out the door. So that's why I'm being a spin. I don't want nobody to think I'm being rude or disrespectful from them. That's not what it is. I have 3 or 4 things I got to do immediately after the broadcast. So I got to shut down. And that's why I was right at 10:05. I got to go. Willow.
Raheem.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready, Raheem. I am so ready to receive God's word.
Well, you
Come
know,
on, Raheem. Let's go.
Only thing I'm gonna say, well, I'm just gonna say one thing. Let's go.
Let's go, Raheem. Let us all go to the throne of grace this morning. Let us go to his throne this morning with absolute confidence, boldness, and expectation. Father, we thank you so much for allowing us to get up this morning to commune one to another, being on one accord, oh Lord. Father, you said that where there are two or more gathered in your name, that you will be in the midst. Father, I believe that not only was you in the midst, but your message went forth this morning, that some lives was changed, oh Lord. Father, I thank you for your word, and I thank you for your promises, Lord. I thank you for your word, that you sent your word to heal us, oh Lord. Father, I thank you for your word, that you sent your word to be a keeper in our lives, oh Lord. Father, I'm asking you to bind the enemy on every hand, Lord. I want you to bind him, Lord. Bind him because he's trying to become the prince and the king of this earth. But the devil is a lie. He's a liar. He's a father of liars. And Father, we thank you for not having us to be ignorant. I thank you, Lord. Touch each and every last one on this line. Father, I'm thanking you for the Holy Spirit that keeps us and guides us. Give us the understanding and the direction that we need to continually go on in this evil and wicked world. I thank you, Lord. I'm asking you to strengthen our seniors, oh Lord. Touch them in a mighty way. Let them know that there's still hope. There's hope in the Lord, oh Lord. Father, we thank you. Father, I'm asking you to touch Raheem and the morning glow, Lord. Whatever's on their hearts, oh Lord. Father, I'm asking you, oh Lord, to come in continually with your grace and your mercy. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, amen. I believe that it's already done.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, listen, we are about to get out of here. It's been a great broadcast, y'all. And we're gonna touch on the second part of this the last part of this broadcast. We're gonna touch on that tomorrow. So if all y'all are available, definitely come back and let's continue this conversation. I think it's a lot to be covered. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to cover it all tomorrow, but we're gonna start off with it and we're gonna go through the whole broadcast and we're probably gonna leave some things unturned. But we're gonna do the best that we can. We're gonna definitely do the best that we can. Now, I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:08. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in. In this cruel and wicked world that we live in, and show somebody some love. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Show somebody some love. Y'all have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you. Talk to you tomorrow. God say the same.